everyone. Welcome to this amazing matchup we got for you tonight. We got Chonccys versus Vitagen, which is a pretty cool matchup, all things considered, and a rivalry that's been going on for a while.
And
Uh,
indeed it has. Indeed it has. There's been a lot of trash talk back and forth both ways. We even had another Chonccys versus Vitagen last week, which Chonccys did emerge victorious from. So will they be able to take down the entire organization in just 2 weeks of playoffs? We'll have
it would be
to we'll have to see.
it would be a big hit to the ego of the entire organization to lose twice with both of their teams against the same roster. It just wouldn't feel very good.
I can't imagine being part of one of those rosters. You gotta be deeply bruised after if both go down, you know.
Yeah, exactly. There was a ton of trash talk already going on, as we said, with one of the coaches involved even.
Yes, this coach Chunky, very opinionated, does does like to flame some people from time to time, but Vitagen Heart did not take it lying down, fired back some shots of their own, so lots on the line in this one.
Exactly, and I think what in reality is they are gonna show their strength in the game itself. We can all shit talk each other as much as we want, but in reality, it all comes down to how you play the game. And if you can't play it properly, then that shit talk just isn't justified.
But it does make it entertaining. You know, the shit talk always adds to it, whether you win or lose. If you shit talk and then you get destroyed, everyone will clown on you for like the rest of the month or whatever. If
Exactly.
if you win though, oh my god, you feel elated. You're like, I knew it. All this trash talk, and now I've got proof that it was justified.
Exactly. But if you lose, man, it's gonna fucking hurt your ego. It will not be great.
Yeah, that's the and there's a lot of egos in these teams, so you know, it's making it exciting for me. It's what the whole reason I wanted to cast this series here, and it's a best of 5 fearless as well. And I just want to see which team that's going to affect the most. That's something that's exciting for me. This is the first best of 5 I think we've had on stream. So
Yeah, and we also had a pretty big patch go on because we're obviously playing on the new season now, and this patch made a ton of big changes to the bounty system. Otacon is now a singular objective, which has a ton more power in it as well. A lot of buffs towards characters that have been seen in the meta, like for example, Cassante got a buff, which is still arguably the best blind pick on top lane, and buffs to Leona, which is really gonna help her in lane as well. So we might see a Leona or a Morgana come back with the buffs that they've got.
I mean, interestingly enough as well, the mid laner for Chonkies is a bit of an Annie player, and Annie also received buffs on this
It's
patch.
not just a buff; it's a giga buff.
Yeah,
The amount of extra power that she got, it could be considered a mini rework by that point. Another champion who we might see returning in the meta is Orianna, with a big buff towards her Q. And maybe some Shen. Shen has been seen playing pro play now, even with the buff, with all the amount of buffs that he's been getting recently. And I personally think this buff might put him over the edge.
Could be. And we are now getting into draft here. The first bans coming out from both sides at the moment. Chunky's banned away the Pike, a signature pick from Wiggies, and Syndra being banned away by Vitagen Heart, which I'm quite surprised about actually, because I don't know if anyone on the Chunkies actually has too many games on Syndra.
They might just be very scared that scattered a week for any champion that engages. And the vibe ban is, it's a bit of a weird one because often teams want to B1 that champion. But I can see why they want to ban it. Maybe they want an immobile carry that just becomes very vulnerable to Vi.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting to me actually, because the Varus ban makes a lot more sense because someone from Chonkies actually plays that champ. But as far as I'm aware, the Syndra and Vi, I don't know if anyone from Chonkies previously has played either of those champs in the split, and I doubt they've been banned very much against this team. So interesting to see that taken away.
But another weird one is Sivir, because Scatter and Vi both don't really do much to Sivir because of the spell shield and the impressive amount of strength that it gives you and safety.
Yeah.
Nocturne is a good ban. I think Nocturne opens up a lot of options with drafts, and he's in a good spot right now. Still wouldn't say that he's like the necessity ban, but out of all champions, I think you can make an argument for the banning it out.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, someone I had. Oh my god, Vitagen Heart with the first pick Annie. Well, not the team I expected to see picking the Annie here, to be honest.
But we did mention that the buffs have been very significant, and I would not be surprised if they even flexed it. Because there have been people playing it on support now, trying it out on support.
Yeah, this is very true. This could indeed be the case. I mean, something else I forgot to mention, by the way, is that both teams are playing with subs. Chonccys from Shrek is playing with a substitute jungler, and Vitagen Heart are playing with a substitute top laner, and their regular top laner is playing in the jungle for them.
Yeah, it's a big shift up in the team, obviously. I don't know what it's going to do for the communication, but Caitlyn Thresh is a bit of a weird combination to lock in. Mainly because Caitlyn really wants to have that instant lockdown put into place, whereas Thresh, even though he has good CC, it always moves the target. So getting them into a trap might be a bit more difficult.
Yeah. It's quite interesting how the draft's been going so far, because Vitagen Heart, it seems like they're using Fearless to their advantage. They're taking away the Annie, which is one of the rookies' best picks, and but Chonccys have done the same. They've taken away the Thresh, which is one of Wiggy's, the support of Vitagen Heart's best picks as well. So interesting how they're using the Fearless to take away champs that they're both comfortable on and are power picks for the enemy team. The highly contested picks are getting taken away in the early game here.
Volibear is another flex pick. Most of the time it goes top lane currently, but there have been cases where Volibear has been played jungle. But the champ has some significant weaknesses, and as we look in Annie with Victor, which means that the Annie is going to be flexed to support.
It could. I mean, it could also be Victor ADC. I know there is, it hasn't been played too much recently, but when Victor first got reworked, he was played a little bit in the bot lane. And I know that the ADC, Zekon, has played some Victor way in the past, but so maybe they are just purely for the flex pick going to be taking it that way. But Galio being hovered here, and I think that's a great pick into how much magic damage has been picked up by Vitagen Heart here already.
Exactly. Galio is an amazing pick because 3 of their champions mainly deal magic damage already. Even though Volibear, in the jungle, he builds only 1 magic damage item, but it's still the majority of his damage comes from it. So having that Galio as your frontline, especially with the taunt, it brings so much extra appeal for Caitlyn, and it just makes it so that it's very hard to collapse on her.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, adds a massive amount of appeal, and Chonccys so far in the split, their main carry, their main star has been Nuzal, the ADC. So makes sense that they're drafting this comp, which is just giving their Caitlyn so much safety. And Caitlyn is also one of his best performing champions that he's had in the split. So they're just picking a lot of comfort. But I guess that's kind of how it's going to be in game 1 of Fearless. You're mostly just taking away comfort, or just getting your own comfort, trying to take away what you can from the enemy team.
Yeah, the Nautilus ban to me seems. I mean, it seems like a good ban, mainly because Nautilus Ultimate can easily collapse onto the Caitlyn. But with the amount of pill that they have, I don't think Nautilus ban would be necessary here. However, I do believe that the Urgot ban is a good one. If it happens to be Volibear top lane, it is a very hard matchup otherwise.
Yeah. And banning 2 supports here does mean that Chonccys think this Victor's going ADC and the Annie's going mid.
Yeah.
That is what that signals to me. Which I would be surprised because it's already such a good Mercury Treads game that if Vitagen Heart did take Rel as well, it would just give even more Mercs value. Although not as much because Rel, she has her W knockup, which doesn't help, and the R doesn't really do anything.
And the Jarvan ban is just a very big respect ban because Galio Jarvan is such a dangerous force to be reckoned with.
The Symbian over there. And I mean, the 1738 from Chonccys does play a lot of odd champions. He's not a traditional jungler. And we see the Briar being hovered here, one of those odd champions that he does play, and it is being locked in as well. So, yeah, I mean, you almost never see Briar in fives. I don't know the last time I saw a Briar outside of this player playing it himself. So, interesting to see how this goes, because this might be the first time Briar's been picked at all in SLE. At least this split.
It's a risky pick.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely has some power, but making a mistake on that champ can often just cause your death. As we see the Leona come out, which I did mention, did get a pretty big buff this patch. So that means it is indeed going to be Victor ADC.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised to see this, because there's just so much magic damage now. The only physical damage that they really have is this Camille, who is getting counterpicked on R5. So it's just incredibly risky that they do this here. And yeah, Renekton being hovered, pretty tough matchup for the Camille. And if the Renekton can shut down the Camille and then the Mercury should start coming through, it's going to be, I think, quite hard for Vitagen Heart to actually find a win in this game. But to be honest, the way their draft looks, it looks more like they're using game one as just a way to secure extra bans. They don't want to play against Annie or Victor possibly in the mid lane. They're trying to shrink that pool down as much as possible. That's all I can assume is the only thing I could possibly assume based on the way they're drafting here.
Yeah. The Annie matchup into Galio is a bit risky though, because Galio obviously has a very easy time sustaining Annie's damage, especially in the mid game. Mm-hmm. So Galio is just going to have a field day here, but if that Camille actually gets out of the lane without losing too much, she can become a menace for Chonccys to deal with.
Yeah, the issue I see though is I think Briar is going to have a completely free time just camping this Camille, because it shouldn't really need to go bot lane. The Thresh provides a lot of safety to the Caitlyn, so shouldn't be too much risk of dying there. Can always, lantern the Caitlyn and flash out or something like that if needed. Galio, it should almost be unkillable in this kind of lane, even if he's getting ganked. So I just don't really see where Briar would even need to spend her time other than just running straight to top on repeat and shutting this Camille down to make sure she doesn't.
The 1v1 is also very much on Briar's side here in the jungle, so it's gonna be hard for Volley to even punish her here. The top lane 2v2 is so favored into Chonccys currently. And I really find it hard to believe that Vitagen will have a way to get into this game if they ever get behind. Because their frontline just builds MR, and what are you gonna do,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, one thing I will say about Vitagen is they are very good at playing the map in the early game. Is they pretty consistently get ahead in the early game. It's usually the mid and late game where their team sort of collapses. We'll see if their playstyle changes with, bringing in a substitute top laner and moving their current top laner to the jungle, because their top laner in the jungle, usually that might sound quite weird, but actually the top laner A's, who's now in the jungle, used to be a jungle main, and is where he peaked his highest rank. So he's not unfamiliar with the role. He knows what he's doing in the jungle. So
the big question is, does the team know how to play around him in the jungle? That's the big question there.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, because they've got so much experience with him playing in the top lane. Have to see, if they had much practice with him in the jungle. I'm not sure. Maybe they played some flex games together. I didn't actually check too much. Maybe they did a couple scrims, knowing in advance that this sort of thing was going to happen at some point.
I do have to mention, there has been a new Volibear built on the rise, where you actually don't go any AP items anymore, and instead you go for Black Cleaver in Rush, which has seen some play, and it has seen some success. So he could be possibly going for that, because I think if he goes any AP items here, it's not going to be good for them.
Yeah, I do think he's going to be needing to provide some extra physical damage to the team. Be interested to see actually how the Black Cleaver build goes, because that does not sound too insane to me, because most of his damage just comes from AP, but I guess it helps his other AD champs. It's just in a game like this, like, he doesn't really have a consistent fizz damage source. I mean, even Camille later on, a lot of her damage just comes from like the second part of her Q, which is true damage anyway.
Exactly. So the Black Cleaver is only mainly gonna do something for Volibear with his W and his auto attacks. So even though the build might be good here, he doesn't really have an ADC for it to like to help her deal extra damage, so that the ADC will practically just shred through damage through the front line, which I don't see happening because there's no ADC to begin with. And I think that they're really gonna feel that the lack of AD damage is gonna bite them in the arse.
Yeah, I mean, at least on the bright side, I mean, it depends on how the Annie builds. I mean, typically, like Riot has been trying to shift Annie towards being more of a burst champion, but I think in this game you kind of have to try to play to do some consistent damage. Victor's semi-consistent damage anyway. I think if Annie does the same, it's like the only way they can play, because if they don't have consistent damage and Chonccys have some magic resist and some way to sustain, it's going to be really tough. Like if there's Thresholds of Redemption, for example, they blow all of their spells on someone and the redemption just comes through. It's going to be the fight's just over basically.
Exactly, it's going to be the big thing if they kill them within the first spell rotation or not. And if they don't, the retaliation will be so brutal that they probably won't survive.
Yeah, exactly. That actually makes me kind of like the Briar pick a bit more, because if timed well, the E does provide damage reduction, so will be and then obviously can just sustain through the remainder of the fight.
You have to keep in mind that this game is going to be a godly item, Spirit Visage for Briar, which is an amazing synergy for her entire kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if she really wants to get it, she can get some AD, get a Spirit Visage second or third item, and it's going to be hard to kill her, even with anti-heal.
Yeah, I could see like a Spirit Visage Mole kind of game here, and Briar just becoming unkillable.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we do have to keep in mind that Caitlyn will have a rough time in the mid game where Victor and Annie really start to shine. So they need to get that Caitlyn through that mid game section where she is a bit weaker than most ADCs. Mm-hmm. But if they get past it, or even if they just become so ahead that Caitlyn doesn't even mind the mid game anymore, then I don't believe there's any way for them to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I do see a world where Caitlyn just gets blown up in team fights. The Camille does have pretty decently easy backline access. If Annie could get like a flash Tibbers onto the Caitlyn, it doesn't look like an easy game to play for Caitlyn here. No, by no stretch of the imagination.
No, there are multiple ways to get onto her. Camille can easily get onto her from a flank if timed well, but she can, of course, be interrupted by the Flay. The same goes for Volibear. Mm-hmm. However, Volibear's ultimate makes him unstoppable, so we might see some interactions going on there. I mean, well, do you have to keep in mind that apart from Caitlyn, don't really have a way to get onto Victor with his range. So if Victor gets the lead, it might just pan out into a game where he controls the entire fight. And yeah, I think Vitagen has a lot more ways to get onto the backline of Chonccys, whereas Chonccys doesn't. But the team comp really just bites them in the ass, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in saying Chonccys don't have much way to access the backline, but I think they're looking to play more of a front-to-back kind of game here, that just hit whoever the Caitlyn can hit. If Caitlyn's getting dove on, all pile onto Caitlyn to make sure she doesn't die is probably going to be their game plan here. So I don't think they're too worried about accessing the backline. They don't really have to worry about the backline threats. Like we said earlier, they're mostly burst focused. So if they can survive the burst and Caitlyn can just keep and whoever's in front, they're pretty happy in this game, I'd say.
And like you mentioned, Thresh is most likely going to get the redemption to survive. So if they survive the burst, they heal back up. Galio has the taunt, so if they even engage on them, Galio can just taunt them, and after that, you should believe that they get 100 to 0'd.
Yeah.
And even Renekton can just sit on top of her and stun them with his empowered W, which most likely just kills them on the spot.
Yeah. I'll say a big risk, which you see in teams that have a lot of, what could be follow-up CC, is that they end up mostly abandoning their ADC. Say the Thresh hooks the frontliner, the Galio ultis in, dives in as well, the Briar dives in, and then the Caitlyn's left completely isolated just for a free pick. So I think we'll have to see some discipline coming through here to make sure that they're only to make sure they're focused in these team fights.
It is like you say that there's a little bit of an anti-synergy going on there, where the Caitlyn obviously wants to stay at a distance, but the rest of that team really wants to go in. And as we get into the loading screen right now, so we're gonna be in the game pretty soon. And so for room pages, we can see Victor is going for a bit more of a late game setup where he goes first strike, so that.
Yep.
And for the rest, looks like a standard room page setup for everyone.
Yeah. Aftershock coming up from Galio does have typically has 2 room pages you can choose from, Phase Rush or Aftershock. I like the Aftershock in this game. Yeah. All his job is here is to just be a beefy frontliner for the team. So,
yeah. In general, all he needs to do is survive that amount of burst, which Aftershock really helps with. He doesn't really need to run the enemy team down, which Phase Rush usually helps you with.
Yeah.
Because they already want to go into you. As we get a pause because Galio disconnected.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm interested to see if how this first strike works out. I mean, the Victor probably can consistently proc it here.
Yeah. The main thing with first strike on Victor is you can, even though you can't consistently proc it, as we get another freeze. I don't know what's exactly going on here.
But that's what happens if League pauses, basically.
Yeah, I can see what. So we have to leave the game quickly to fix the bug. Meanwhile, first strike for Victor mainly gives him amount of gold influx to get to his first item spike very fast. But whereas other rune pages allow for a bit more potential to kill an opponent in lane. First strike is a bit safer, but the kill pressure really suffers from it. That's the main difference between running Summon Area or Arcane Combat and running First Strike. We have seen a lot of people going Grasp the Undying, but it's mostly for mid lane into melee champions so that you can actually bully them a bit more and be tanky into assassins, which we don't really see here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see a Grasp in the bot lane on Victor, to be honest. But yeah, choices usually between like Area, Comet, First Strike. Pretty rare to see First Strike on Victor, to be honest, these days. It's gotten nerfed quite a bit, so
yeah, it's rare to see the rune on anyone, to be honest.
Yeah,
so nobody runs it anymore because Riot really killed the rune with the amount of nerfs they gave it.
Yeah, but I will. Yeah, it is like you say though. It does really help get to those to get to the power spikes faster in exchange for lower kill threat in lane. Maybe Zikan and Wiggies understand that they're not that. Maybe they accept that they probably can't look for anything in lane, and therefore are just saying, "Hey, well, we'll just take something to help us scale up for late game as well." Then I mean, similar sort of thing for Nuzal taking lethal tempo here on the Caitlyn, but that's pretty standard.
One interesting thing we're gonna see right here is 1738 is pathing towards an early level 3 gank on top side. Which means Renekton might be setting up a kill there. Because he's going for triple camp right into the buff, that means he's going to be very soon on top lane, whereas the top lanes will only be level 2. So, and the wave is pushing towards Renekton. So he's most likely going to rank his W second, and if they can get that kill angle, it might just ruin the game for God of Hex.
And if God of Hex does go for a ward here, then that plan is kind of screwed over there, yeah. And 1738 immediately passes down to his bot side camps here.
Yeah. Volibear obviously has a bit of a lead now on the clear because Briar opted to go for that triple camp into top, which is a bit slower, but it gives you the option to go there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we do see now that both junglers are gonna be pathing towards bot side, as Briar has been spotted out now.
Actually interested. It was interesting to me to see that the Victor went for Scorch despite taking the first strike. Yeah. It's not very common to see that for sure.
Nah, the Scorch isn't gonna do too much here because he's already traded off his skill pressure. But we will see both junglers coming on very soon to the bot lane. Volibear's already coming, as Briar is finishing up her camp. So we might see a 3v3 coming out here.
Yeah. Pretty efficient clear here by the volley. Managed to beat out the crab as it spawns. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a fight here, but Vitagen Heart does have the superior vision set up for this crab here. So Briar looks to be just pathing through mid to try to go to the top side crab here. Although the rookie
really
is pretty low in this mid lane matchup, so could be that.
Yeah, I don't believe they can contest it. They don't. I don't think they can contest it. Ace is just gonna get a free double scuttle here, and there isn't much they can do about it.
Might even be looking to contest the Raptors here too, because I mean Wiggy's has moved up here. Actually, it seems to be moving back down to bottom lane now. Maybe just trying to slow the Briar's clear down, but yeah. Nothing actually going to come out. He's going to
respect Renekton TP here. If Renekton falls down, that's just not going to be okie dokie. Oh, close one from Matuxa. He almost hits that hook. If he hits that hook, it's... Oh, we're going to get a kill pressure.
Yeah.
He can immediately onto the trash, but he's exhausted, so a lot of damage got nerfed, but it's fine. Leona, meanwhile, got the kill into the trash, and we're going to continue the fight. Wiggies is just permanently seeing the Caitlyn here. Pretty much solo killing her. I guess we just got the situation of Leona being insanely overtuned.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, nicely punished by Wiggy. Saw that the Thresh had no cooldowns and immediately flashes onto the Thresh. Saw the Flay was on cooldown. Hook missed. Immediate flash in. Really well played.
Yeah, very good punish from Wiggies here.
And Nuzo getting a bit greedy there. Tried to flash forwards to try to make it a 1-for-1. But unfortunately wasn't quite able to find it.
The biggest thing here is the fact that Victor now has already plus 50 hex fragments, which means that he can get to his wave clear point very soon. Oh, Rookie doesn't hit the taunt, but still a ton of damage. Yeah, good spacing, but that Galio Q still deals a ton of damage.
Indeed it does. I mean, yeah, if the Aftershock had hit there, it would have almost been a solo kill for the mid laners. Wiggy's once again in the mid.
Yeah. Oh. Close call, actually. Wiggy's, if he hit that, for sure she was dead. Oh, missed hook from Matuxa. That's gonna mean Zikon gets out.
That's a shame, actually, because both times the bot lane of Chonccys have been able to punish Zikon here. Unfortunately, haven't been able to find the hook. If they had found either of these hooks, it would have just immediately been a kill going over to their side. But
oh, as we can see the taunting from the Rookie, but he's also pretty low now, so he really needs to watch out. If the Sai actually gets a good angle, he could just kill him with Tibbers.
Looks like Briar wants to play for this dragon here, but Rookie's pretty low, so it might be a bit tough to do that right now.
Yeah. And she has to spot out, so they obviously know where she is right now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with this Annie pushing out, Vitagen Heart might even be looking to play for the dragon themselves here. But Briar stays in the bot lane.
But the Lantern's gonna come through, and Wiggies is gonna be CC'd here. Meanwhile, the Victor just locks them down. Wiggies is gonna be knocked into the wall as he dies, but Ace is here now. Can Ace actually get something? The flash comes out from Briar and Caitlyn and Trash. No summoner spells anymore. Meanwhile, the Zikon gets the kill with the Victor Q, and it's gonna mean he gets his Hex upgraded for his laser beam. And maybe it wasn't the trade they were looking for now.
Yeah, a bit overzealous there by Matuxus going for the hook at 1 HP Zikon. Says, "What are you doing, buddy?" Gets the Q off, and he's now chunking the Rookie out here, bringing him. Yeah, just getting a big chunk like this is already pretty good. I mean, the Rookie has no potions, whereas Josiah has 2 stacks of refillable pot. So, yeah, I mean, that's just huge for Vitagen Heart here, and this should be them securing the dragon.
Yeah, Ace is gonna have a free dragon here because the Rookie had to back off there. I mean, there was no way in hell they were killing the Rookie there, but still, he has to give that space up now, and with the amount of bot pressure that they have as well, because Victor obviously has evolved Hextech right now, I don't believe they can contest it, and Briar should just be trading the dragon here for Void Grubs, but because he hasn't started it, and Leon is coming up, I don't think they can even do it.
No, I mean, you can see, like I said, Vitagen Heart are really good at playing the early game. Their jungle and support play so well together the whole early game. It's just, they're just choking the whole of Chonccys from Shrek out right now.
1738 is really respecting the fact that Leona came here, so not gonna take the Void Grubs, which is big, I think. Obviously, we only have 1 Void Grubs now, instead of 2. So just getting them in general is a lot more worth it. Oh, Matuxa exhaust onto Zikan. If he hits everything, it should be a free kill. But meanwhile, Zikan hits a very good flash, but it's not enough. Matuxa actually hits the hook here, and that's going to be a kill towards Nuzel.
And Zikan does not have TP available here, so we'll actually end up having to drop a wave here. And obviously, they know he's on the volley bar's top side, so they have absolutely no worry about crashing this wave here. It's pretty nice. Yeah. Like I said, Zikan is the superstar carry of Chonccys from Shrek typically, so him getting a big shutdown there is actually really impactful for the game.
Yeah, Zikan should have respected it a bit more. That's kind of the risk you take when you send your support towards the Void Grubs to contest it, which helps a lot because they did get the Void Grubs, but you need to respect the fact that you are alone then. And I don't think he did that well enough.
Yeah, this is true.
The good from top lane. God of Hex with a very good hook shot.
Just slipping and sliding straight out of there.
Yeah, the Renekton was a bit overzealous there, Shy with popping the Dominus instantly and burning the stun while Camille still has hook shot, so I think it's a bit of overzealousness there. And Camille is actually winning out on the matchup. She's winning with farm, and the matchup becomes very Camille favorite the longer the game goes. So, like, God of Hex actually surviving the laning phase so well, it just puts a ton of pressure onto Shy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is one of God of Hex's most comfortable champs, so I'm not too surprised. Actually, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, because, yeah, as we've said, the matchup is pretty bad for Camille early on. But Matuxa landing a hook onto Zikan, dropping dangerously low, but puts the grab field down, which is stunning both of the Chonccys here. Matuxa's forced to flash out of there.
It's a fair trade, but the box obviously makes it a bit hard to engage further onto Matuxa. So in the end, it's just an ult for ult burn really there. Oh, we see the Briar coming mid lane. The Saya is caught out here, and she has to burn the flash. Yeah, it's a good flash from the Saya.
Yeah, for sure. If he was even slightly later on that, he would have just been CC chained 100-0 there. So nice that Josiah respects that and just immediately flashes away.
Exactly. And now we do have to say here that 1738 is going to get a lot more pressure, and he's been slowly ramping up his CS because Briar's clear speeds up very fast compared to Volibear. Which means that the longer we stay as farming junglers, the better it will be for 1738.
This is true for sure. It looks like Josiah's maxing the W because that W did a lot of damage. It could be, to be honest, it could just be that he's... Oh no, he has got 5 points in W, yeah. So, seems like he's maxing W first to just match Galio's wave clear here. Which is pretty, pretty smart by Josiah here.
Especially with the buff, because one of the big buffs that Annie did get this patch was that they lowered the mana cost of her W at every rank. Her max rank is now the same cost as her max rank as her newest max rank. What am I saying? Yeah. The lowest rank of her W is now the same as the newest max rank mana cost.
Correct. Yeah. So previously her rank 1 W cost the same mana that her current rank 5 W costs. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Brilliant. As we get a hook in, 1738 is going to get the CC on Wiggies and a good hook, but the gravity field is going to stun the Briar. Wiggies is going to go down instantly, getting almost one-shot by Nuzo, who does have his first item already. And that is definitely a power spike for Caitlyn.
Respect to Matuxas. I mean, he landed his hook, so this time he is intentionally taking the kill from his team. I don't know why he ever threw his auto attack there, but I guess, you know, he said, I've given myself a pat on the back for some positive reinforcement for finally landing the hook, so respect to him. So 173 spotted out on the dragon here.
Yeah, but they can't really contest it. There's 4 people on it right now. Maybe they go for it with the Victor flank, but We're gonna go for it. Ace is gonna get hooked and he's gonna get flayed, but very low. Briar's gonna ult in, which maybe is a very detrimental decision. But the Galio ultimate is gonna be a very big CC ability there. Victor gets a kill onto Annie. Meanwhile, Victor gets a kill to Briar and Annie goes down. Meanwhile, we have permanent CC from Wiggies, and Zika is gonna get caught out very deeply. But it doesn't matter. They have so much damage in CC. Rookie gets a kill down, and he has to flash out. Meanwhile, you do have to believe that that Rookie actually gets away with murder there in broad daylight, getting the kill on Zika there.
I mean, I gotta say, pretty well played by Zika there. Notice the Caitlyn extremely low, just flashed straight onto his face, blew all of his spells, managed to take the Caitlyn down. If that hadn't happened, I mean, Wiggy's also following up with his Zenith Blade there. So yeah, I think if that hadn't happened and the Caitlyn was allowed to keep free hitting, this could have been really bad for Vitagen Heart, but ended up going their way in the end.
The fact that they got that Caitlyn out so early, and the same with the Briar, who really just got permanently CC'd into the gravity field, made it so that they had a lot more space to work with. Victor still got a ton of damage from Caitlyn, and that did end up killing him in the end by the Rookie. But in general, it's a very good fight for them.
Yeah, ooh,
Ace got 1738, and we're gonna get the Hextech ultimate, and God of Hex gets his first kill of the game, which is gonna be pretty massive.
Yeah, nicely done, Harris.
Oh, jeez, the damage from the Rookie. Keep in mind that's a full tank Galio for now, and he's still outdamaged the Victor. Is he gonna go for another trade? Zika doesn't really have a lot of damage yet, so we still have to wait for it, and he has to respect the Rookie here. He's 2 levels up on him.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see how effective MR is into Vitagen Heart, and more and more of it is only going to come out from the Chonccys here. Although, yeah, the Camille picking up that kill earlier is not a good sign at all. Because
yeah,
as you said earlier.
Yeah, you really start to see it. Look at the amount of damage that Q's already started doing. She only has the Trinity Force. And the amount of mobility she has now, Renekton can't really chase her down anymore.
Yeah, it's looking scary here for Chonccys, honestly. You know, based on draft, I was thinking this is looking like a pretty easy game as long as they can get through the early game. But, I mean, I wouldn't really call this getting through the early game. I mean, they're out of the early game now, but I wouldn't say this is so much getting through it.
The big thing is also we are going to be entering the mid game soon, and this is the strong point of Vitagen here. That Team Comp excels in the mid game fighting, and that Caitlyn is going to feel a little bit worse now on 2 items than a Victor on 2 items, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Oh, Matuk's actually gonna try to catch someone off guard. No vision in the bushes though. But we can see that they are trying to rotate towards bot lane. They have vision around it, so Vitagen probably doesn't know that the Chonccys is trying to go down there. But we have a Volibear here.
Yeah, I mean, both junglers are on the side.
Yeah, we get the Volibear ulting in, and the gravity field is gonna stun the Briar again. Briar is gonna be fully down, but she does so much damage and Volibear just gets one-shot. Wiggies is still caught out in the backline. Meanwhile, the Rookie ults in and God of Hex is teleported in. God of Hex doing a ton of damage to Matuksa. Matuksa hits the hook. He's still probably gonna go down. Hextech ultimatum instantly one-shots the Caitlyn. And that's such a good trade for Vitagen.
Yeah, I'm not even really sure how that happened. It looks like they blew almost everything on the Briar there, but we're still... And Wiggy's managed to flash out on just 1 HP there. Nice TP down from the Camille as well. Really made that fight completely easy for Vitagen there. And
the big thing is, like, Shy does get the turret, but it really doesn't do anything for them. It's the outer turret. So it is kind of a consolation prize, I believe, more than anything.
For sure. For sure. And I mean, well, like we said, the Vitagen Heart is very magic damage heavy. Similarly, Chonccys is also pretty physical damage heavy, so Camille picking up these plated steel caps will give her quite a lot of value in this game.
Yeah. As we mentioned before, Volibear is going to go for the Black Cleaver setup, so it is going to be a bit more on the damage side for him, a bit more on the AD damage side, which is understandable seeing the team comp that they are running with. They will try, obviously, to sneak in the Dragon here now, but I don't know if Chonccys can get it. Probably they can, because Vitagen is pretty off the map. Wiggies is going to be caught up by Matuxa, but I don't believe they can run it down. Unless they hit the hook. Oh, the hook is hitting Matuxa, and Leon is going to try to run away, but Wiggies, can he get away? Oh, he can't. He has to engage back in, and well, Nuzel now gets a free kill. Matuxa actually didn't steal it this time.
I mean, on the other side, though, yeah, it looks like Vitagen Heart were already planning to give away the dragon. Although Nuzel does just get completely one-shot here by the Annie. I mean, like I said, like we said before,
almost one-tap there by Josiah here.
Yeah, we can see there's definitely a lot of chances for the ADC from Chonccys here to go down, and if he does, they're also severely lacking damage to win these team fights.
Yeah, they have to respect that they just give the turret there to Vitagen, because Volibear has the Stormbringer, and disabling that turret will really mean the end for anyone standing below it. And it's gonna be a very tough game now for Chonccys. We mentioned this in the draw lobby, that the only way for Chonccys to lose this game is if they lose the early game, which they are doing, and this is going to become very much an accelerated game for Vitagen, where their lead just snowballs out of control.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who's going to be able to contest this Camille on the side lane now. Almost a full item ahead there in the side lane. It's just going to be so tough. And I mean, the Galio's full magic resistor obviously definitely cannot contest the Camille here. The Renekton just probably too far down in items at this point for anything to come of that.
The Eclipse buy is a bit greedy, I think, here. He should have maybe opted to go into the Black Cleaver build with how behind his team is, because he doesn't really have the lead to go for something so much damage oriented. Because Camille will literally just 2-tap him with Q currently, with the amount of damage that he actually has.
Yeah. For
We're going to see some setups, probably, because Otacon is up now, and we mentioned before, Otacon is a singular choice now. There's only one Otacon. Now what Otacon does is will purify all your Spirit Petals, they will become 25% more effective, and you will instantly get all Blood Petals on the map, and they will no longer spawn. At the same time, if you kill someone, you slow them. Meanwhile, Matuxa is getting the hook, and Stormbringer over the wall instantly collapses on Matuxa, but the Galio ultimate is gonna lock them down. Meanwhile, the Briar and the Renekton are in the side lane trying to kill the God of Hacks. Wiggies is on the rookie, but they can't really do much there. Meanwhile, instantly deletes Ace. Ace is nowhere to be seen anymore. Zekon will try to get more kills, but any one-tap the Briar together with Trash. Zekon is doing a ton of damage on Nuzel. Meanwhile, the Tibbers is very angry that Annie died to Renekton. So, at the same time, we have a 3-for-3, and the carries just got the most out of it.
I don't know how Chonccys are going to win a fight if they don't win this one. Nuzel flashes the initial cast of the Tibbers. Matuxas lands a hook onto the Camille to kill the Camille. It looked like such an easy fight here for the Chonccys. Or not an easy fight, you know, but with how well they played it, it should be quite an easy fight. But yeah, unfortunately, it's still. I mean, they went even in the fight, which is not a good sign when they're playing at this good.
Yeah, exactly, because it just gives a way for Chonccys to get back into the game. At the same time, all of the kills are on the Caitlyn, which is a very good thing for them. Caitlyn is almost going to be at the third item, which is the breaking point where she starts to scale back into the game and actually become insanely annoying, with headshots dealing more than half your HP sometimes. But you have to believe that Bri is just so behind currently. Both in CS, kills, and she's just died a ton of times and given away all the gold. Ace is invading her because he knows he's stronger, but shy waiting in the bush. So Ace can't really do much, and yeah, I mean, he does respect it.
The vision control is very much on Vitagen Heart's side here. With Tuxus going for a similar sort of play that he did when the last fight started. Thought, hey, if that one was a 3-for-3, maybe we can get another 3-for-3 fight here if I just keep throwing the hook at the blue buff.
If you don't start fishing, you will never catch a fish.
It's true. This is very true. And God of Hex is just sitting on the side here, and there's nobody top at the moment to actually stop this push, although the Renekton has recalled here, but that's quite a lot of damage going onto that inhibitor tower there.
Exactly, and the inhibitor turrets don't regen HP like the next turret. Meanwhile, Wiggies is gonna go engage on Matuxas. Briar is gonna go in with the ultimate, but the instant Solar Flare will catch her out. Jesaya with the ultimate. Tibbers is gonna be running down rampant. Gallo ults in, but Briar has been CC'd again in the Hex, in the Victor ultimate and the Victor gravity field. Shai is gonna go in, try to get Ace 100-0, but he can't. Ace is gonna get the shield down, and Chonccys is now in the backline with the staircase up, and he's gonna lose so much HP. Zekon gets it. God of X, meanwhile in the backline, instantly deleted both the Thresh and the Caitlyn, while the rookie goes in again and dies.
Yeah, really well played in this fight by God of Hex here. Stayed out of vision the entire time, and as soon as he saw the opportunity where the Caitlyn was split away from the rest of the team, immediately jumping onto her and using the Hextech ultimatum there to lock her down, make sure she had no chance of escaping. Excellent.
They had no business fighting the team fight.
Absolutely not. This is very true. Very true. But I mean, a nice engage by Wiggies to even start this one off.
Yeah, Wiggies did very well together with Ace there to engage. And now this is gonna get Dragon and Otacon combined.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this one's honestly going to Soul point. I think if it does, the Briar will reach a point that she actually doesn't just get chain CC'd and die. Because I think when, well, then again, saying that, you know, Josiah is almost at his Void Staff here. And I imagine Zekon's going to be picking it up pretty soon too, so...
Yeah, Zekon should be picking up the Void Staff next item. But the real sinner here is gotta be Briar. With being so behind, she built Black Cleaver, even though she constantly just dies in one hit in teamfight. She should be itemized in MR, like Spirit Visage, like maybe a Deadman's Plate even. Anything to sustain that frontal load of damage.
Killing spree.
For sure, for sure. And
Meanwhile, we didn't even notice it.
No, with a solo kill on the bot lane here, and it's going to make it so hard for Chonccys to deal with this situation here. Now, if the rest of Vitagen Heart pressure the Baron, and Galio ultimately being forced out too, now it should be really easy for Vitagen Heart to pressure this Baron. And they're going to have to choose between dealing with the Camille on the side or going for the Baron. Seems like they're choosing to go for the Camille on the side, but if she respects a bit here and doesn't greed for the tower, probably is going to die, but looks like she's greeding a bit.
Oh, she instantly collapses onto Nuzzle, and look at the damage that Camille's already doing. Wow.
Get out.
Yeah, and she just gets out. Unless Briar can do something about it, but who knows? Briar is not really that ahead currently. And Briar ultimate will hit, so they will keep going. But well, Zekon with the gravity field, and Briar's just gonna be stunned, and God of Hex gets another kill. Volibear gonna do the Stormbringer over the wall. Matuxa put the box out so he can get away for free. Duke barely misses, but even if it hits, I don't believe he should be going in there.
Yeah. And I mean, the morale from Chonccys at this point in the game has to be pretty low. They've got so many picks that they're extremely comfortable on. You know, the Caitlyn, the Briar, the Galio, even the Thresh. Yeah, the very big comfort picks for the Chonccys here. And, you know, if you lose this first game where you've got so many comfort picks, it is quite a morale down for the team, I'd say.
Yeah, it is definitely a big bummer. Especially now that you think about it, they can't pick these champions for the rest of the series anymore because it is a fearless, so...
Yeah. I mean, the game's not over yet, but it's quite hard for the Chonccys to come back. A 10,000 gold deficit, or 11,000 gold deficit at the moment.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite hard for them to come back into this one. Matuxas looking for a hook onto Zekan, misses, and is going to just be getting chain CC'd here to death. Never mind, flashes out of that.
Ace is most likely going to be looking with the Stormbringer for the over the wall, but now that it's back off cooldown. But God of Hex is just going to be cleaning that sideline turret, and I believe they're going to try to dive it maybe in the mid lane now. Respecting the turret range though first.
Yeah, Godahac's threatening Nuzel quite a lot here, who's a bit isolated from the rest of the team at the moment.
Yeah, I believe we're really looking at the end game here. Meanwhile, Desai is gonna get galloped on by Shy and 1738, and he got him with one shot. But Godahac's instantly removed Renekton from existence. Briar tries to ult away, but Godahac's again kills him, and Josiah gets the kill. Matuksa is gonna try to get him out with the buck, but it doesn't do anything. Nuzel's gonna be one shot. Meanwhile, the rookie is gonna do anything he can to extend the game, but we both know that it's already over. Wiggins is gonna go in for an extra CC, and we get the Stormbringer, Volibear himself, locking him down, and Victor getting him down with the Chaos Storm. Meanwhile, this is the end of the game, and I believe that this was an absolute stomp.
Indeed, it was. I mean, just before we had to break here, who are you giving the MVP of this game to?
Easily, Godahac's. Easily.
Yeah.
I believe Zikon played well, but Godahac's really accelerated, and we need to keep in mind he was in a counter matchup. But
Yeah,
Wiggy's also is a really good contender for a player of the game because he really accelerated the map with his roams. Even though it did cause Zikon to die once or twice, he really made the map get such a big lead by being around all these objectives.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I think it does have to go to Godahac's. He played pretty much in isolation in the 1v1 here and was able to get a lead in this quite tough matchup, which is extremely impressive. And then the way he played the team fights later on in the game was also great.
Exactly. Meanwhile, I do have to mention to the people out here that aren't Dutch folk or people from the Netherlands, in a little bit, maybe during the draft or after the draft, we are going to take a short break of around 3 to 4 minutes. In the Netherlands, we on the 4th of May, we rethink the fallen heroes that died during the Second World War, which we hold 2 minutes of silence for at 8 o'clock. Which is why I am also leaving for a little bit during that time. And some of the people on the teams are also Dutch and leaving a little bit during that time. So we are just letting you know that there will be a short segment of the cast where there's a little bit less going on.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the draft sorted before then. But yeah, I mean, Chonccys have already readied up. It looks like on the draft website. So just wait on Vitagen hard to see if they're okay with drafting before that time, because it does put a bit of time pressure on it. But obviously no issue at all either way.
Yeah, exactly. We're most likely just gonna be doing the draft on the website before that time, but we'll see how it goes. Chonccys needs to ready check, so. I believe though that first game really did showcase that even though they had like a lesser draft, they just accelerated their gold leads. They played the map very well, like you said they would. They are very strong in that early game, and instead of having trouble in the mid late game, they actually kept the lead and just accelerated the game forward, which made it impossible for Chonccys to come back.
Yeah, for sure. Really, really tough for Chonccys to come back in this one with how well played the early game was from Vitagen. It's exactly what you'd expect from this team, and especially A is in the jungle, showing that it was a bit off-road in the top lane. Typically on their team, top lane does not look too good for them, but A's back in his actual main role is makes an ideal fit for this team, I think.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Hopefully we'll be able to get into the draft shortly. Teams haven't quite readied up yet.
Yeah. We're currently looking to start the draft, and hopefully they want to before we hold our silence. Otherwise, well, we'll take a little bit of a longer break, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Apparently, Wiggins can't find his own cock, which is a problem.
That is a toughie. I hate it when that happens. Sometimes my suggestion to Wiggies would be to look between the cushions on the sofa. That's a common place to lose things. So
that's or
between now,
or in the bed sometimes. Yep, we actually entered draft, and again, pike ban. Just again. They really do be respecting Wiggy's Pike.
I mean, can you blame him? Played the Leona, which is not one. His two comfort picks are typically the Thresh and the Pike. Took away the Thresh last game, but he did not look uncomfortable at all on the Leona. So if you put him on a champ that he's actually comfortable on, it can be a real disaster for Chonccys and Shrek. And Vitagen, I'm sure, would be honestly willing to early pick the Pike, regardless of the game, just because of how much comfort there is for Wiggies on that champ.
Yeah. I mean, well, we do see pretty similar bans to game one. Vi, Varus, Nocturne, Pike, all similar bans we have already seen in game one. And the Varus buy-in is a very good one. Very good B1 pick. Pantheon ban coming out though now.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember what their ban was instead of Pantheon before from the first game. But that is a change, I believe, from the first.
Same goes for Wukong. Same goes for Wukong. Oh, Orianna. Are they gonna be one? Yeah, they're gonna be one Orianna.
I mean,
they have faith in the buffs.
Yeah, I mean, it also a similar sort of thing from last.
Oh Jesus! That's a beefy front line they've locked in. Vitagen with Skarner and Sion instant locked. No doubt in their mind. They need tank shredders. I think the best way to go would probably be to lock in Gwen here, even if you have double AP now. But she's so good into champs like that. Or Vayne. Vayne is another very good one. You suffer the risk of being counterpicked though, bot lane.
This is so interesting to me because Vayne is a power. I don't know, Tristana ended up being locked in. That's a shame. I would have liked to see the Vayne so much there, but it's just a bit scary to pick it so early into the draft before you've seen any of the opposing side's bot lane. I think, it would have been really nice to see Vayne here with quite a lot of ego coming out, and it's also a pick away from Zekon on Vitagen Heart is one of his better champions. And same thing with the Orianna. The Orianna is one of Josiah's best champions in the mid lane, so nice to see that go into the
Graves doesn't really make a ton of sense here, mainly because you've already locked in 2 hyper carries here, and the Graves doesn't really offer much to the draft. So they really need to get a tank in now, or at least some form of setup, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to actually do anything into Science Corner, because they will just permanently see you. All that Vitagen really needs now is a burst mage or a control mage in the mid lane, and Ezreal's a good one as well. How are they ever going to get onto Ezreal here?
Yeah. Very short range, the Chonccys side here, so quite like the Ezreal here. I mean, it's really hard for Graves to deal with. And I think it looks like 1738 is just going through his list of champion comfort one by one throughout the series. I'm not sure what he's going to lock next game, but his most comfortable champ is probably Briar. His second most comfortable is probably Graves. So makes complete sense, I suppose, that he's locking in the Graves. He's just, regardless of what the draft looks like, he's just happy to take his best champs.
Fiddleban is a bit weird here because Skarner's already been locked in, and that is most likely going jungle. It can be flex to support, sure. Same goes for Sion, but there's no real chance that it's gonna happen. What I would like to see here is an Alistar ban from them, or Alistar or Karma, because if you give any of these champs to Ezreal, that good luck. You're not catching him.
Yeah, the Fiddle I believe is going the way of Wiggies, because recently it's been quite a prominent support pick. I've seen it quite a lot in my solo queue games, and it's just a nightmare to deal with. It's an absolute CC machine. And these balls don't even level the W spell because the other ones are just so strong. So
I do believe I've seen it before as well. Yeah, and the Rel ban is a good respect ban. I think if they're locking Rel, that they just have so much to see, and they're gonna blind support jungle, and it's Lilia. I think this is. Wait, actually.
Yeah.
That means Skarner is gonna. Yeah, Skarner support.
It could be Skarner support. It could be Skarner top and Sion mid.
It could be Lilia top even.
Yeah, it could be Lilia top. I'm not really sure.
It's a triple flex. I don't know what to make of this.
Which way it's going. I really would doubt it's in the mid lane against Orianna. That sounds like not a fun matchup for Lilia.
Oh golly. I do respect them picking away the Alistar, but I don't know what it really does for their comp, because there aren't really any champs that want to get onto them. Skarner, sure, but Ezreal and Lilia are just gonna wait for an angle. And Set is gonna be a good lock-in. Set is very good into those beefy front lines that they already have. And it's a very good matchup into Sion and Skarner, so I guess we'll see what is gonna go top.
I think if we see like Karma come out here, it's gonna be really tough for Chonccys because they're gonna struggle quite a bit to get into Vitagen. I mean, Ambessa can with the public execution. Tristana can jump in, although I wouldn't really recommend it. So I do think if like the Karma comes through here, Ambessa can't even ulti in, or they're just gonna get W'd by the Karma and chain CC to death.
Exactly. Oh, it is gonna be Gwen top lane. That is a triple flex. That means it's gonna be Sion mid lane. And I have seen this come around a lot more recently. Sion mid lane, it's very strong into specific mages that can't burst you down fast enough or don't have enough poke. And into Orianna, I can definitely see it being a very good game. But Graves is gonna have an absolute nightmare. Like, what's Graves gonna do against a team like that?
Yeah, it is now 8 p.m. though for those in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my moment of silence, and I'll see you guys then. Welcome back, people. We have taken our minutes of silence. We've taken a short break. Meanwhile, the draft is finished, so we're just waiting for the spectators delay. And we're going to get into game 2, where it is going to be indeed Silent mid lane and Skarner support.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out, because I've never seen Wiggies play Skarner. I've never seen Josiah play Scion. I don't know. God of Hex, I believe, is pretty on the Aatrox. It was pretty high on his OPGG, if I remember correctly. So not surprised to see that come through. But yeah, interested to see how this one will go, because it is quite a odd draft from Vitagen Heart. I mean, usually Vitagen teams are known for having odd-looking drafts, but this is odd even for Vitagen Heart. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that this team will excel though if they get to the mid game, because again, they've got two insanely beefy front lines, and Aatrox is a menace at 2 items. Same goes for Azul, same goes for Lilia. Like, these champions all spike on 2 items very hard. Whereas Chonccys actually wants to get to like 3 to 4 items, because that's where Tristana really becomes another being with the extra attack range that she gets from the passive. The same goes for Orianna and Graves. And I will want to say that if Chonccys gets a lead, that it's actually pretty hard for Vitagen to stop them.
Yeah, that is for sure true here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if they get a bit too tanky before if Vitagen get a bit too tanky before Chonccys can scale up here, it can also be they just get rolled over in the mid game. And I mean, that is kind of the story of game 1, is the Vitagen Heart got quite ahead in the early game, snowballed it through to the mid game fights, and then in the mid game the game just completely fell apart for Chonccys here. So interesting to see if this happens again. The early game for Vitagen goes well, get too tanky, can't be killed in the team fights. That leads to them winning them, and yeah. We see once again Zcon with the teleport. So most likely that Zcon's left on a complete island again as Wiggy's roams around the map. We just picked up the Comet this game though, which is interesting to see on Skarner. I don't know how common that is on support Skarner.
It's not common on support Skarner. It used to be pretty big when the rework first released, because you just W maxed with Skarner, went for a King Comet Leandris, and it's pretty punishing. So I can see the point where it comes from, because I don't think he's really gonna get much of an engage into Alistar. So I think I can see why he took Arcane Comet. It's not that bad of an option, but it's obviously gonna be a bit less tanky than taking Aftershock.
Yeah, for sure. I guess they're comfortable with how tanky their team is without it, and they just want to use the Comet to get some more damage in the early game.
Yeah, I believe that's to be the case, because in the early game they can't really touch them.
Yeah, for sure, true. For sure.
They are trying to get vision, and well, they've got vision on red buff, but they can also get vision onto their top side instantly, and there's a bit of a double vision here going on. Both are probably gonna start on the same side and potting bot lane again, just like last game. Because I don't really think you want to pot towards like either like Ambessa and Aatrox. It's not really much interaction, I think.
Yeah, I'm not much of a top laner, to be honest, so I don't really know how the matchups go, but I can see why both junglers will want to path to bot lane here. Makes complete sense. And this matchup in the early game and mid for Orianna is pretty uninteractive as well. There's just going to be almost nothing happening. Both sides just going to be farming it up. Obviously, with Orianna scaling quite a bit better in terms of just usefulness as a champion later on. For Orianna will be quite strong later on compared to Sion. Same clear coming through here from A's. Both sides just doing standard full clear.
Yeah, exactly. Ace is actually gonna be looking to full clear and not probably ganking topside here. I don't believe you really wanna. It's a bit harder to punish an Ambessa than it is to punish the Camille.
Yep. And I mean, it looks like Shy is not expecting to be ganked here either, because didn't go to drop the ward down there, so is absolutely no fear of being ganked there. Just wants to play his lane as is.
Yeah, we are gonna see a bit of a speed up in the clearing for Graves now. It's gonna be pretty fast and probably a bit faster than Lilia even, I believe.
Pretty nice, nice interaction there actually. The Skarner can basically grab the Alistar out of his W. It's quite interesting. And also nice movement from Nuzal there. Managed to dodge the Skarner Q throw and the subsequent Ezreal Q, but then misses cannon. So maybe I shouldn't compliment people.
Yeah, possibly not exactly what you want. Good trade on top side between Shy and God of X. Pretty even.
Yeah.
And maybe a fight here breaking out, but yeah, she's just gonna give it up. She knows that the bot lane is prio and Alistar was in the river, exactly. We did mention before that it might be a bit of a hard matchup. Josiah actually pretty tanky and already doing quite a bit of damage with the Qs.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually, because with phase rush, it's quite hard for Orianna to really be hit by Sai on Q, to be honest.
Yeah. If you play properly, you just QWE and phasers out. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's not as easy as you want.
Yeah, and you only have to do that kind of thing if the Sion lands his E on you, because otherwise, you know, it's quite hard for a Sion to just run at you. Or just roll run at you and throw a Q. So usually you can just save your phase rush for when Sion E hits you. But I guess Josiah is making the most of the fact his champion. I mean, he's got second wind. He's got that Doran shield, so he's fine tanking some damage from the Orianna, but it's not the same for the Orianna. Orianna, every bit of damage that the Orianna takes does in fact stick. So
yeah.
TP forced out here from the Orianna early already, and not sure if Josiah's going to have to do the same back, to be honest. He might do it anyway. The Lilia ball coming through here. Almost lands onto the rookie. Not quite, though. But yeah,
Silence is going to be playing it a bit calm here. Just save the TP for more necessary situations and getting the Bobby Cinder. Bobby Cinder will help him push out the lanes pretty fast and give some options.
Well, the interesting thing about the fact that he saved his TP here is that you can see that Orianna has no potions. So if the Sion wants to play super aggressively here, he can feel free to, and he can always TP back later on.
Very good catch out here actually by Wiggies, but Matuxa, it does want to go in. Wiggies, as you said again, catches him out of the W, so it's a bit of a thing about this matchup, I suppose.
Yeah.
But again, a very good catch from Wiggies to make Josiah a bit more safe in the mid lane. Matuxa catch out there. Pretty big chunk actually for. Ooh, they're playing a bit more aggressive, and again a Q. Matuxa literally just lost half his HP to a Lilia.
Yeah, that is a massive chunk. That's gonna make their lane much harder. I mean, both refillable potions being lost there, and obviously the mid lane. Like I said, every bit of damage that Orianna takes here is going to stick even harder, because now no teleport to get back to lane. So if Josiah can force trades constantly onto the Orianna, he can just happily TP back when he needs to. And Matuxus is deep into Vitagen hotspot in here.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get back in, but here's the instant unstoppable onslaught, and Matuxa does that flash. Exhaust comes up, but it doesn't matter. It's very good output from Josiah, the first blood for Zikan, who's on Ezreal right now. Meanwhile, Ace gets the dragon for free, which is just a double-sided blow to them.
Yeah, and there you go. That's how the TP is being used from Sion. Uses it to get a free roam off to the bot lane there. Created a lot of pressure. I mean, Vitagen are just pressuring this bot lane so well here. You know, started off by making Alistar go to half HP, and then actually using the fact, if that initial thing hadn't happened, where the Alistar was brought so low, would have been tanky enough to just get hit by the Sion ultimate and maybe even keep the fight going after that.
The thing though that you need to keep in mind, Matuxa actually did have flash there. He could have just flashed out. But Wick is going to be caught out. The exhaust is going to go into Nuzol. Zikon is very sped up because of the attack speed from his passive. But Nuzol gets out with the double jump. Meanwhile, the flash is going to come out from Matuxa. And Matuxa is actually going to knock Zikon away. And they get out with both of their lives, which is very big.
Yeah.
Oh, very good ultimate from the rookie. So the sleep doesn't really do much. Meanwhile, 1738 is on mid lane. And he's doing actually a ton of damage. The ultimate misses though, and Ace literally gets away with murder again.
Actually, I think Rookie could have held his flash for a little bit there, waited for the sleep to come and baited an Ace.
And that's gonna be a rough one. Wiggy's bashes him into the wall. God of Hex instantly goes onto Graves. The Graves just disappears from the face of the earth. God of Hex with just a double kill pretty much over there. And again, you really see the amount of CC that they have. It's so hard. Josiah is slow, instantly followed up with his Q, and after that point, there's nothing the Rookie can do to get out of there alive without the flash.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see Vitagen every time they have push, they're using it to create so much pressure on the map. Wiggy's everywhere. God of Hacks with an amazing roam. I think if God of Hacks wasn't there, this wouldn't have been definitely wouldn't have been able to get the second kill onto the Graves there. So just really well done from them.
Yeah, and Ace is right now on the objective. As we zoom out, the Graves is nearby, but I don't know if they can really go for it. The first grub is already down, but do they have the pressure to get second? There we go. Second Void Grub down as well. So it's gonna be 1 Void Grub for Chonccys and 2 for Vitagen. But God of X is a good ability. Nuzo goes in on Zika, and Zika just instantly blows up. Nuzo with another kill.
Yeah, I also something unrelated to the bot lane here. You see the full top side of Chonccys has been warded by Vitagen here. They have complete control over that side.
Wiggy really just doesn't like 1738.
Not in the slightest, it would seem.
Yeah, again, just putting away all of that vision. Wiggy is probably just gonna try to get a freeze for the Ezreal going here. God of Hex is gonna put the TB out, but the SLE Tavis, which is pretty big in this matchup. Especially with seeing that Mbessa is going for lethality here. And we have already kind of reached the point where the Rookie just does negative damage to Sion.
Yeah, it does get better for the Orianna as time goes on, but yeah, at the moment, Rookie is going to be hitting absolutely zeros onto Josiah, which is kind of interesting actually, because this is kind of the opposite of what we saw in the first game, you know, where the Rookie was on the Galio, he was the one that was unkillable in the matchup, and Josiah was on the Annie.
Yeah, Zikan set up a good freeze here, but Matuxa is nearby, so he probably can't keep it, especially because Skarner is still on his way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good that Zikan's freezing here, because I mean, we saw what happens if the Tristan is able to get onto here.
Nasty steal from Ace there, and he's actually gonna keep going. Graves taking a ton of damage, and the Rookie is gonna come nearby, but God of Hex is near as well, and Josiah as well, and Rookie doesn't have flash. Quite a bit of damage already in the slow, but the Face is gonna come out and get the Rookie to safety.
Yeah, I mean, nicely done by Ace. Good clean invade there. Pressured the Graves to move out of his jungle. And yeah, they are really choking this Graves out from being able to play the game. He just has absolutely nowhere he can go. If he goes to the top side, he's spotted by all the wards. If he goes to the bot side, Wiggy's is there ready to counter, and the Ezreal's happy just farming under tower.
Yeah, Ezreal really just wants to skill in this matchup, and especially now that Tristana has her first item.
Yeah, that is for sure true, and I just don't really see how Vitagen how Chonccys are going to make anything happen here, because yeah, it just feels like every single play they go for is just immediately countered.
Yeah, we also see on the mid lane that Sion again is just hard shoving the wave, and Orianna doesn't really have the damage to contest it yet, because Sion just QWs and the wave is gone. So they have a ton of pressure to get this Drake for free right now. And Wiggies and Ace are already kind of setting up for it. We do know Graves is going to be coming to there too, and Matuxa is spotting them out. Matuxa is actually going to be hit. Lily is probably not going to burn the sleep because it's an Alistar, so he just ults and it's gone. But
yeah,
the push from the side, it's so hard for the Rookie to just contest it for free. She can't push him out of lane. Uh-oh.
And yeah,
Rookie being hit by the sleep bubble. Sion's gonna fuel her full charge, and Bomba, she's gone. Meanwhile, actually pretty good Alistar knockback from Matuksa, but Wiggy's ultimate doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, we get the Unstoppable Onslaught. Is it gonna hit anyone? No, it's not gonna hit anyone, but the Graves is still there. Graves is gonna flash out. Ace is near there as well. It's gonna hit the Q Matuksa. Matuksa is very low, and Nuzzle gets hit by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. But what are they gonna do? Matuksa is just caught out by another Siren Q, and meanwhile Zekon is getting hit by Q after Q, and they just can't do anything against that range difference. Zekon does take 2 tower shots, which is a bit unnecessary, but can't be punished. It just can't. It's a free dragon again.
Yeah, I mean this Scion is really using his ultimate well to move around the map here. So nicely done by Josiah this game. Really using the fact that his champ is so much stronger than Orianna in the early game to move around the map and playing well with his support and jungle here. Just constantly creating pressure.
There we go. The feats of strength for the objectives are gonna be locked down here, and that means they're gonna get the upgraded boots as well. Scar doesn't even have base boots, so.
Did not even notice that the Ambassador killed the Aatrox in this matchup. Hit the power spike of that first item Cyclo Sword and immediately kills God of Hacks here. So I wonder if this is actually just gonna start going the way of Shy here as this matchup continues.
It is a pretty rough matchup for Aatrox the longer the game goes on, because Ambassador actually skills quite amazing. She becomes more tanky the more AD she has, and she does more damage the more AD she has, obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But, I mean, it's kind of funny looking at the scoreboard actually, because to me, in my head, this bot lane has not been going so hot for Chonccys, but Nuzzle is 3-0, has a pretty respectable CS here. So, I mean, he's going to be strong, he's scaling up. He's hiding in the bush at the moment. Looks like he was looking for the Ezreal to see if he could find a pick on him, but is recalling now, maybe respecting the Skarner's around, and his Alistar's in the mid lane.
Yeah, God of X is really respecting the lead that Shy has here currently, just not even contesting the wave, just letting it slowly push into him, which is a lot better. We can see that the Graves is going to be potting here. Maybe they want to set something up, even though the turret falls already. But, well, here we go. Lilia sees the Matuksa. Wiggs is going to call him out. Matuksa pops the ultimate, so they're probably not going to go for much more here.
Yeah, nicely done by Vitagen right there. Just force out the Alistar ulti and back out. They got what they came for. Now the Alistar without the ultimate is not very tanky at all, so now that that's been forced out, does mean it's going to be quite hard for them to, or for the Alistar to actually tank anything here later on, and then but that just means they have nobody to walk into objectives, really.
It's going to be quite big, especially because we already have the Rift Tower up right now, so big objective, and we can maybe see that Vitagen is going to go for that. But Wiggins is waiting here. They might try to catch Nuzzle out. Nah, they can't do it because they see that the Alistar is mid lane, so it's kind of an impossible task to go for that now.
Yeah. It's literally ease. I mean, they don't really do too much damage, but it is just like, it gets in your head. At some point, you know, if you keep getting hit by the Lilia bowling balls, you just feel so bad. You're like, oh god, another one hit me.
It's like this annoying mosquito that will keep just flying around your eardrums. You keep hearing him, but you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, just throwing him out there in the middle of his clear, walking around. I mean, it kind of signals where he is, so that's something nice about the fact that he's constantly throwing him out. But don't think Ace really cares if anyone knows which side of the map he's on or whereabouts he is. He's just looking for some free poker. Psychological damage.
They're trying to set it up for the objective here. And like we said, Alistar almost has his ultimate actually back up, so maybe they took a bit too long. But they are doing a lot of chip damage to Matuksa, and Wiggies, but CC'd.
Yeah, it just looks like whoever goes first in the support matchup is the one that's disadvantaged, because Alistar can obviously Q interrupt the Skarner eats there. Oh, nice flash engage by Matuxus.
Good flash indeed, and the exhaust coming out, but Matuxa doesn't get onto him. Meanwhile, amazing ultimate from Wiggies and Nuzzle get deleted. Aatrox ultimate is gonna come out. Same goes for Unstoppable Onslaught, and Public Execution hits Wiggies instead of God of Hex, which is not good. Permacy Seed, and there goes Chonccys. A ton of damage, and this Lilia is really starting to come online with more items.
Yeah, quite unfortunate that the Public Execution didn't land onto the Aatrox, but yeah, really really rough team fight there for the Chonccys. A lot of gold swinging the way of Vitagen Heart here now. 3,000 gold up. They've got 2 dragons. They're
the Citizen Ducks here.
Yeah.
They can just chill, sit back, and scale into this late game, and it's gonna be kind of hard for the enemy team to do anything, because if you just look at the team comp, there is so much more control on Vitagen's side, and especially because they have this big a lead, until they get any items on Chonccys, they can't even do damage to them. You literally saw that in the fight that we just did. They were getting a bit low, but it took so much.
Yeah, for sure. And third dragon being picked up here, which is gonna put Vitagen Heart onto Soul Point, which is really gonna turn up the pressure for Chonccys here to make something happen quickly before that 4th dragon spawns.
Exactly, they do give up the Rift Herald, which means that maybe Chonccys can get the mid turret down with that. But they do need to get away, actually. They might be looking for a collapse even here. Ace is, again, just being that annoying mosquito and entering Graves' jungle. And it just... even taking the blue buff, oh man, that's a tilt of 1738. Atacon is spawned now, so on the bot side of the map probably will be a big priority coming up. Especially once the teams hit 2 items. Probably gonna be looking to team fight for that.
Yeah. Yep, for sure here, and it's just, there's been so much control for Vitagen Heart. I mean, the thing is that usually the way this team ends up losing is that early game doesn't go so amazingly, and then in the mid and late game they typically aren't as proactive as they were previously. But I mean, in these games, that early game has been going exactly how they want to, and it's disastrous.
Currently, they just want to scale slowly. The champions do amazingly if they just scale up. And with San securing the Deadman's Plate and Aatrox just buying the Spear of Shojin, they're gonna have so much extra pressure in team fights. Like, it's gonna be hard to even get onto San with Deadman's Plate, and he's gonna have a pretty easy time running you down.
Yeah.
Graves is actually waiting around for Desire, but I don't believe he really wants to go for that. I think it's a risky trade that's not worth the outcome.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you even do if you're the Chonccys here? It just feels so hard to punish anywhere. That sounds too tanky to take down.
Uh-oh.
1738
trying to go for Lilia, but loses his flash in the process. We can see Shy going in. Wiggies with the ultimate, and San is gonna come up with the unstoppable onslaught. Matuxa is very low, going back in, trying to get the Orianna ultimate, but it only hits Ace. That's so detrimental. Wiggies is still going in further, and Nuzo is being caught by him. But Nuzo can't really go in, and 1738 is also just so low. They can't do anything. They can't contest these fights, and it's so hard to even go into them.
Yeah, I mean, their spacing here is just immaculate. They're getting so much chip damage, and then as soon as the the chain CCing if someone steps up too far, and then as soon as someone gets low, they can just all go on that person. It's just really hard. Chonccys aren't even able to find any return damage at all, to be honest. Just spacing so well.
And like we said before, it instantly allows them to take the Atacon, which is going to be a big buff again in power for that team. It's going to give them a lot of XP and a lot of extra adaptive force. So we see most of the champions even just straight up leveling up here from it.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the new Articon is it means all the flowers across the entire map that haven't already been picked up do get given to you, and you don't have to do the annoying thing of picking up all the flowers that spawn from it. It just they automatically get collected there too, so that's pretty nice for that change.
Actually, pretty greedy purchase. Lilia getting the Magi's, but she hasn't died all game, so I mean, what do you have to lose? Already 10 stacks on it as well. The Dark Shield is upgrade, and it's gonna get a lot of extra AP to her.
Yeah, I mean, what he has to lose at the moment is 50 AP, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But the move speed, especially on a champion like Lilia, that you get from the 10 stacks of Magi's is just so impactful here, and pretty unlikely that he dies in this game. I mean, it's actually completely possible if he gets chain CC'd here that he will die, but he doesn't have the flash available for safety at the moment.
Yeah, but keep in mind, the only way to really change to see him is Alistar WQ into a public execution or Orianna ultimate, and that's still only like 3 seconds or 2 seconds, as compared to if you get hit by any CC, really, like any CC at all from Vitagen, you just die.
Yeah.
Because you can't get out. It's like 4 seconds guaranteed, but Wiggies is getting caught out, actually dies to the Graves ultimate, very good sound, unstoppable onslaught, hit the Grave, public execution, gonna go into Zikan. Meanwhile, Matuksa pops the ultimate, tries to go in and keep the stankiness on everyone, but a very good Esper ultimate kills 2 people instantly. Zikan and Nuzol tries to hit him with the ultimate, but the ultimate doesn't kill him. Lilia is with the double kill. Lilia's probably gonna get the triple kill. Aatrox gets it instead. Lilia is almost fully stacked on the Magis. We're gonna get the Dragon Soul, and you have to believe that this game is over by this point.
Yeah, I mean, almost a 10,000 gold lead for Vitagen Heart. Soul now their way to, and in this fight, Orianna wasn't even in this fight. Just chilling in top lane, trying to go for the tower, not able to pick it up.
Yeah, there comes the face rush, but teleport's gonna come out. Where is she gonna go? She has teleport, sure.
Yeah, Josiah has no.
Orianna. Yeah. The sound Q doesn't channel enough, so but still having to burn TP for that and flash, it's well, she didn't burn flash, but still having to burn TP for that is pretty bad. She overstayed her welcome and she got punished for it.
Yeah, it's pretty rough as well because also they didn't manage to get anything on the cross map as a result of not joining this last fight. So
yeah, and most of the members are already on top side. It's a pretty good damage. Jesus, that Lilia damage. Graves can't do anything. Matuksa is trying to survive for his dear life, but Ace is doing so much damage, and that's gonna be a free Baron. And I believe once they get the Baron, they can just run it down mid lane. And in reality, what can Chonccys do about this? How can they contest this?
Yeah, and this is just now it's a fully stacked Magi's for the Lilia. Now that's what's that, 120 AP with a fully stacked Magi is just so much power.
Yeah. And Lilia's ratios aren't even that bad, so it's just not a good look. Sound also is so tanky by this point. They can't really get through him, and the same goes for Skarner. Skarner is literally just building Heartsteel, I believe, here.
Yeah, actually I lied. It's 145 AP from a fully stacked Magis. That's just insane. I mean, basically pretty much the only casualties this game on Vitagen Heart side have been Wiggies, which you would hope if anyone's gonna die on this team, it is the Skarner support.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's just him taking pretty much the 10 for the team, falling down when they need him to. Which is understandable, since his job is literally just to engage. But we can see the entire team. Zikan is fishing for Qs already. They are already starting to hurt. Look at that damage on Nuzol. Half HP with a singular Q.
Yeah.
There we go. Wiggies is gonna go in. But Matuksa is gonna try to catch him. Can Wiggies get him? Very good Orianna ultimate. But Wiggies misses his ultimate, unstoppable onslaught onto the turret. Very good knockup. Nuzol just tries to knock him away with the ultimate, tries to do anything. Ace is in the fight, flashes over the turret. He hits a very good sleep. And everybody's pretty much dying here. They can't move. Nuzol dies to Zikan. And meanwhile, Zikan gets a triple kill here, probably by Rookie dying. Or not? Well, he gets a triple kill, but he dies in the process. Doesn't really matter, not too much. Shy does get a kill, actually, in return. Retaliation kill, but with Shy, the only one being alive, she can't really contest the pressure that these Sion and the Aatrox will have on the side lane. They're just gonna get these turrets for free, and not much they can do about it.
I mean, I compliment Vitagen Heart for not dying, and then immediately they play with like full ego and die. So I'm gonna try something here. Really good job to Vitagen Heart for making sure their Nexus doesn't explode. So we'll see if this one, this curse works too. But just testing my powers here, seeing if that'll have any impact on the game. But who did the shutdowns even go to in this fight? I'm pretty sure Orianna got a big one.
Yeah, Orianna got a big one here, and I believe Ambessa got one too.
Okay. Not sure if Tristana managed to get one there, but I doubt
she's been
it,
stuck on 4 kills for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And Graves is really just not getting back into this game at all. He's gonna build Black Cleaver, which I believe is a good option here. He needs a bit more tankiness, and I don't think he can do much else at this point.
Yeah, I mean, kind of their only hope in these fights is for Ambessa and Tristana to shred through people. So it kind of makes sense that he's taking more of a back foot here and building towards the Black Cleaver, get some shred for those people to do a lot more of the work.
Shy trying to get Zika. Wiggies is gonna ult instantly onto Shy. Shy's taking a ton of damage, trying to get out, but the unstoppable onslaught again from Desire, killing spree as he gets 2 kills. Ace kills Shy, and now there's only 2 people standing in the way. Nuzel and the rookie. Can they do anything to contest them from taking this Nexus?
I don't see it. Ace is actually one of the fastest things alive. Barry Allen.
Very clean flash from Nuzel, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. Desire gets the kill. Triple ult from Orianna, but what is it gonna do? Zika is free hitting onto Orianna and just killing her in the fountain. This game was over from so early, and Wiggins even said he got wrecked, but that doesn't matter. Doesn't do anything. They kill the Nexus, and it's 2-0 lead, and we're gonna go to game 3 where they have match points already.
I mean, MVP for this game, got anyone in mind?
This game gotta have to be Ace. I'm sorry. This game, Ace really just swept the floor with them. He controlled the map. He actually from the get-go, he just started controlling the map, got a small kill lead early, and really started abusing 1738 already in the early game.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a pretty decent pick. Personally, I'd give it to Josiah. Actually leveraged his advantage in the mid lane here to snowball really hard, and some beautiful roams bot lane with the Sion ultimate. So, yeah, I'd have to give it personally to Josiah, even though I will admit his spacing, his movement in these team fights was amazing. It'd have to be, and for me, it's not even Ace isn't even in the isn't even in my discussion. It's between, for me, Wiggies and Josiah, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to take a small break until we get into draft. After that, I believe we can go to match point, and hopefully Chonccys can contest Vitagen in the next game, because it's looking a bit despair.
Mm-hmm. We are back for game 3 of this series. Will this be a whole big setup for the Chonccys here? Losing the first 2 games, only to set up for the reverse sweep. Personally, for my voice, I really hope not. But if they can do it, I'll be extremely impressed. Maybe we can see if the fearless mode benefits the Chonccys here. Welcome back, a newbie. I missed you.
Thank you.
And what are we thinking here? Are we thinking this is going to be, just initial feelers? Are we feeling like this is going to be a reverse sweep for the Chonccys?
I'm honestly, I don't have the belief currently. Normally, I have this little bit of a belief, but especially after game 1, where they had such a better draft, but they just couldn't execute it. It's. I don't see it happening personally. I think it's going to be a full-on trio, and they're going to go on their way to the finals for Vitagen. So, again, Vitagen.
Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah, actually, let's get through the draft first, then I'll give my thoughts on it. But yeah, similar sort of bans coming through as the previous games. And we see last draft, the Syndra wasn't banned and also wasn't picked up by either side. And similarly, Sivir wasn't banned and also wasn't picked up by either side. So we'll have to see if either of those will remain unbanned for this third game. The Jinx ban coming through, so yeah, Syndra ban not happening from the side of Vitagen Heart. We'll see if that has any impact here on whether or not the Syndra gets played. Maybe Vitagen Heart might be looking to take it away themselves. And last game it was the exact same bans as last time coming through from Chonccys. So Sivir still open. There's the Fiddlesticks B1.
Geese is just wants to go with the fiddle. Full faith, not even a question in them. I just insta-locked.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do that. I don't think Rel is gonna be a good one because Fiddlesticks can just fear her out of her W.
Yeah, does it work like that? I don't know if if you fear
the CC will still hit, but Rel will not be able to place herself down. And the main thing about Rel is you do want to hit that W ultimate combo, and you can't because the fear for 2.5 seconds is gonna be pretty fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Ashe is. I think Ashe is a good pick here, especially because she just insta kills the effigies with her W.
Yeah, that is good. Also, another thing to that is if you sense that the Fiddlesticks might be looking for an ultimate from somewhere, and drop the E, and then if you've got the vision of the Fiddlesticks won't be getting that massive multi-man fear with his ultimate. So I quite like the Ashe pick here. It's quite smart into Fiddlesticks.
Yeah. The Ashe E is indeed going to be a big fucking factor in this game, and I think it's pretty handy. So we can see some of the picks that are disabled for both sides here. Among them are some pretty strong picks. Twitch is a bit of a risky one, though. Twitch mainly wants to have an enchanter with him to really amplify his damage. He can work without them. He definitely can. And I think with Fiddlesticks just fearing them, it's a very good setup for a Twitch ultimate. But Twitch is a lot more vulnerable.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit of a Twitch player myself, and I gotta say, this champ is completely brain dead. You just get your items, you sit in stealth, you wait for your team to set up, you press R, and you can basically just AFK. Oh, the Ashe is actually Ziggs. It was a placeholder pick, so this isn't Ashe. It's actually Ziggs being picked on R2 here.
Yeah, but that would be a pretty big conflict of interest because you can't. If they because Vitagen now picked against an Ashe, so they would have to redo the draft.
I think they probably said it beforehand, or wait, what?
No, because
they have the aces. Yeah, they said it afterwards. So I don't know if that's. I don't really know what's.
There's some big confusion going on here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the draft is going to continue like this because it seems Vitagen maybe didn't read the message or the responses came through before the message was written. So
anyway, we continue. Cho gets locked in, which is a flex pick, can go both top and mid lane. So the silence pick is a pretty good counter into that, especially because he loves eating people like Cho'Gath. Jarvan, I believe, is a good setup, Ben.
Mm-hmm. And Salas does have some quite nice ultimates to take here. He's got the Cho'Gath, the Fiddlesticks ultimate's also a really nice one for
yeah.
For
the Twitch
Silas
ultimate is really just not a good thing for Silas because it does nothing.
No. Yeah, okay, so it is actually Ashe here. Just had it confirmed.
Okay.
Second rotation of bands here. The Garen band coming out now. That's some respect right there. Respect over the Shy.
Yeah, I mean, Garen, it can be pretty annoying. I believe, especially into their team, because Garen's W does quite a lot for him to just not take any CC damage, but...
Yeah.
Rumble. Good blind pick, but they can swap the Cho'Gath to mid lane if they want to. Or they can keep it top lane and go for a tank Cho'Gath setup. It's pretty flexible. But keep in mind, Rumble can actually flex the jungle because it's been popping up recently again with a pretty good win rate. So who knows? Maybe Rumble jungle.
Could be. I mean, I doubt it, but it is entirely possible. I mean, maybe Vitagen Heart do have a lot of flex picks throughout the whole series. Maybe the Chonccys are trying to take some notes from that. And yeah, there we go. Now the flexes are now the flexes are of course gonna be shown for sure. The Cho'Gath is gonna be in one of the solo lanes, Udyr in the jungle, and Fiddlesticks probably support. I mean, I would really hope it's not like Fiddlesticks mid here. That would be an odd one for me.
I don't think that's gonna be the way, honestly. Yeah. But Gragas, very good blind pick, safe, very good. That doesn't mean that the Cho'Gath is probably gonna be mid lane and it's Gragas top lane. But a lot of brawling potential with this comp here. Really want to go for these extended skirmishes, and they have a ton of beefy frontline for the Twitch really to play around. And because they really want to focus down this Cho'Gath and Udyr, Fiddlesticks can maybe also get some pretty tricky angles.
I mean, honestly, I'd actually prefer to see the Cho'Gath top and Gragas mid. But I really doubt it's going to happen. But Gragas mid with like an electrocute setup actually has some insane damage early game. I guess Cho'Gath with Halo Blades has a similar sort of thing. And Josiah is quite comfortable on the Cho'Gath, so I'm not surprised to see him on that pick.
Same. Not surprised at all. Even now, if Wukong can be flexed to top lane, I don't believe they will do it. But
no, yeah, I really doubt it. And
but I don't think Wukong is a good pick here. Wukong is amazing into AD comps because of his passive, but now his passive really does nothing. It's all magic damage except for Twitch. And they like the only one who's really gonna profit from Vitagen Heart picking full AP again is Rel. But again, it doesn't really matter. It's a support.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what jungle I'd actually want to see picked here instead. I'm not very good at jungle, so I'm not even sure it would be that good
so,
here.
I believe the best ways to go would be you could go for Sejuani, but it's banned, so that's not kind of out of options already. Viego could be a possibility here with their comp. It's there's some good possession targets on the enemy team, and he doesn't have a hard time killing the enemy targets. But for the rest, Maokai maybe, and that's about it. It's a bit of a rough one, maybe even Mundo, but they needed a good frontline, which they really don't have right now.
Yeah. I mean, if this is me, I'm slamming Master Yi here, and I'm saying good luck to the team.
Oh, Jesus.
I definitely won't get Fiddlesticks feared in my aura and run miles away from the team fight. I'm definitely going to 1v9 this game, trust me.
Yeah, but, I don't think Yi's the pick here, because Cho'Gath fair, Fiddle fair, Cho'Gath silence, I mean, like, you are never going to be able to do anything here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what are we thinking based on these drafts? I think actually both sides are pretty heavily AP. Both sides only have one physical damage source being their ADCs.
Well, I guess it's AD,
Oh, that's true. I'm lying. What the hell? Sorry. Oh my god.
You are lying, you bastard.
I'm just absolutely making up as I go along. Sorry, I was thinking there's a lot of Mercs value on both sides, and then I was like, surely that means they're full AP. You're right. Ashe is a physical damage champion anyway. Yeah. But she does give Mercs value.
Yeah, I would normally say that like going full AP here would be int, but I think the full AP is very good here because it's a good to Wukong, and how can Chonccys punish it really? Like Ash is not gonna build a Wit's End, Rumble is not gonna build a Banshee's Fill early on, and Silas is not gonna build a Banshee's Fill either. He wants that Zhonya's. So I think that they just yeah. I think they just roll over Chonccys here, and there's not much they can do about it.
Yeah. I mean, would be interested to see if Udyr goes AD. I was thinking about it if he goes like some lethality build, but I really don't think A's is Chad enough to do that. Like if he was playing Udyr top, I bet he would, because he doesn't really care and he just runs it down every game he plays top. But I think in the jungle, he just wants to make the game as easy as possible for himself, so he's probably going some like tanky AP build. 100%. I say 100%, but now that I've said that, he's probably like
Castle's Cursed.
now he's gonna build lethality or something just to prove me wrong.
Yeah, to spike you.
Yeah.
As we go into the loadout preparation and then the 3-minute cooldown, so we still have quite a bit until we get into the game. What do you think is the winning angle though, matchup wise here, like in the solo laners?
I mean, I think I'd rather play as Chonccys in this game. So I give the edge to them draft, but I kind of would have done the same in the first game as well, and that didn't pan out too well. So I guess we'll have to see how this one goes. I think there's some legitimate chances they win this game. And I'd be interested to see a late, like a game 4 and 5 in Fearless format, because that's when the champ pools are really, really pinched, and you get to see how flexible some people are. I mean, we've already seen it from Josiah, especially, who's just playing all different types of champions in the mid lane.
I mean, Josiah is literally playing top lane and mid lane right here.
Yeah.
He's been playing top lane as a mid lane. That's all he's been doing, except for the Annie pick. But I believe that in matchup wise, in the jungle, it's pretty Udyr favored because Wukong's passive doesn't do anything against him except for the life regen. In the top lane, it is Gragas favored because Rumble cannot regain his health back, whereas Gragas can. And in the mid lane, it really depends on who gets the lead. Cho'Gath can easily sustain back because of his passive being just a stat checking buff, just giving a ton of HP and mana back. But at the same time, Silas is pretty annoying to any melee champion, especially if he goes for the Conqueror setup.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're thinking the bot lane matchup is the way of Vitagen Heart as well because of the fiddle interaction with Raul, right? That's what we're saying, or are we saying that the... Because I imagine Ashe into Twitch is not fun at all for the Twitch early on.
So I agree with you there.
Okay, so I imagine that as has been the case typically in this, the Chonccys saving grace is looking like their bot lane at the moment. So we'll see how this works out for them. Just waiting 1 little minute for the spectator delay here. What are we thinking? Like, are we going to see any weird rune taps? Are we going to see like first strike fiddlestick support?
We're probably going to see either first strike or aftershock here on the fiddle support. Maybe Arcane Comet, but I think aftershock is the way to go. And for jungle, most likely is going to just be a Conqueror setup for Udyr. Top lane, either Arcane Comet or Face Rush for Gragas. Mid lane, obviously, is going to be Hail of Blade for Cho'Gath, and Twitch. I mean, he can go anything and it would probably work fine. The main intrigue here is how is Rumble going to approach it? Is he going to go for the Conqueror setup or for the Arcane Comet setup? Because Arcane Comet doesn't really do much into Gragas.
Yeah,
it doesn't really help you kill him. So I'd say the Conqueror setup is probably the way to go here, especially into a tankier comp like this.
Yeah, I think when you look at the top side of Vitagen, how tanky they are, I think you just kind of have to go Conqueror and play to take long fights. Obviously, that's going to mean in the laning phase, it's quite nice for Gragas, who's happy to take short trades with Phase Rush or something. Oh, actually has Grasp, which is... Wow, it's actually... We're wrong about both of the top lane... Well, I was wrong about both of the top lane keystones here. It's Comet for Rumble and Grasp for the Gragas. Really playing for the laning phase there with that Grasp on Greg.
Yeah, it is the Arcane Comet setup, so a bit more on the poke side for Fiddlesticks. And PTA Udyr, actually that means there's going to be 80 Udyr, not tank Udyr.
That makes...
He's going to go for 80.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, in this game, you don't really... Typically, you don't want to play with the triple AP topside, which is, I guess, why 1738 locked Wukong in this game, wanted to play an AD champ. Similar sort of thing for A's. You know, Udyr is pretty flexible in his builds anyway, can go AD or AP. Just go AD this game.
They're trying to catch someone off guard here. Wiggins is probably leveled Q level 1 and is probably gonna try to get Matuxa off guard. Are they gonna? Nah, Matuxa just sees it in time, and we've got Vision in the Tribush. Ace and Josiah are gonna walk towards top lane instantly. They have Vision already on the top side though with Wukong, so they know where Ace is gonna start for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, saw Ace cross through that. I'm kind of surprised the Ash didn't like go for a W auto there, but I guess I was a bit worried, you know, if Josiah does land the Rupture on Cho'Gath, for sure Ash wouldn't be forced to flash away there, so kind of makes sense he didn't want to risk just flipping the game already at level 1.
Yeah, pretty good actually from Ace taking the Oracle's Lance here. Gonna clear the Vision instantly. And the good thing about starting Q on Udyr and going AD is it's actually pretty fast in the jungle clear. Much faster than just going for its R max.
Yeah, does force him to start on a single target camp though. Because you're just gonna, if he's wanting to start with Raptors, that's going to be way too tough, I believe, to clear with Q start. So limits his options a little bit on what camps you can start. But yeah, like you said, it's going to be a fast clear either way because the Q damage is just insane. Especially later on in the game, Gotta Hex getting a cheeky little grass proc there.
Keep in mind, this Twitch actually didn't go Lethal Tempo. He went PTA, which is very good for short trades. It's a lot better for short trades even. And this is what they are going to be aiming to do with the Fiddlesticks. Just fear someone, going for the short trades, try to get them low, and eventually going for the all-in.
Yeah. Mid lane trades go in massively in favor of Josiah here. Kind of makes sense because it is, Halo Blade setup from Cho'Gath gives him a lot of damage in the early game.
Yeah, that keep in mind that also every time a minion dies to him, he just heals HP and mana back, so the sustain is gonna be unreal for him. Rookie it's actually going pretty well, pretty much matching his CS. So all things considered, the lane is going fine for the rookie.
Yeah, it's just gonna be, you know, as you said with the sustain difference in middle lane, if this lane's forced to be played out for a long time by Josiah, then it can see a similar sort of thing as last game where Josiah actually gets a TP advantage off of how he's playing, and therefore, dropping the Ignite.
Such a trade.
Wow.
No Ignite there.
There's no Ignite. What am I talking about? Why did I think I saw Ignite? I'm just...
Halo Blaze proc. Just Halo Blaze proc, buddy.
That's crazy. How just absolutely slaughtering Rookie with the triple E-autos there.
Ace is also just looking to gank anywhere, but Scutter priority is pretty big now. Wukong did get a cheeky recall off, so Wukong is gonna have the item advantage on him if they go for a trade in the river now. And Rumble, it has the lane pushed in, so he can't really just go in there. And I think he will just give it. And Rookie should probably shove this out and play a bit safe because, well, Ace is not on the map. Unless he is actually staying. He's overstaying quite a lot, and Ace is burning a lot of precious time here, just waiting for Rookie to engage, which he won't do.
Yeah. It's a good thing Rookie's second part of his E missed there, although I think he was aiming for it to intentionally miss. I think he should just recall here. TP back because it's a cannon wave now, so Josiah isn't going to be able to insta push it. But Rookie chooses to stay here despite the fact he's already down in HP and doesn't have any potions left over. So this lane is just going to get tougher and tougher, and as this Cho'Gath gets close to level 6, it can honestly turn into a solo kill angle here. I think this is the only time he gets a choice to base, if with it being a cannon wave before level 6.
Ace has been spotted out, because there's quite a lot of vision on the top sides already now. So they do know where Ace is, and know that he's spotting bot lane, which means that Wukong is gonna match him, and probably meet him on the dragon.
Yeah. Yeah,
keep in mind that like, if they keep pushing this bot wave, Zikon on the Twitch can actually gank mid lane, because that's one of the big powers of playing Twitch in coordinated play. Just ganking other lanes.
Yeah, it does add a lot of pressure, and it's something that people don't really respect too often because it's so rare to see it. And just like canceling the rookie's recall there, and it is just gonna start to be so one-sided in the mid lane here if this continues like this. The longer this lane goes on, the worse it'll be for Sylas. Or the longer it goes on the forward base.
They possibly expect Ace to be on Dragon, but they can't really contest it because they've got such a big prio on bot lane, and seeing both bot lanes haven't recalled, I believe that they're also going to be stronger here.
Yep, Josiah walking down to the Dragon to get a free feast stack here.
Exactly, free feast. Ace already kind of anticipated it. Very good. God of Hex still in lane. He has the tier and a pretty good mana setup. So I believe he's gonna go for Rod of Ages setup here, probably. Rod of Ages into Archangels.
Yeah.
Pretty good trade from the rookie here, as we already start seeing it, like before. That with the Conqueror, once you get that first recall, you can actually go for these extended trades. But keep in mind, Josiah hasn't recalled at all. This is gonna be first recall. And he cancelled his bot and went for the movement speed.
Yeah,
instead, which is, I think, the way to go here.
Yeah, it's an absolute classic from Josiah. I mean, he's pretty well known for making plays with his team. The most speed build couples really well with that. So, nice choice there from him. And Rookie once gets still no potions on the second base, so the damage he takes here will stick. Although, you know, as he's doing the W max on Sylas here, does mean that he won't. That does mean that he does have some sustain in this matchup. That doesn't really.
Yeah, but keep in mind, if he really gets into the range to W, that Cho'Gath is gonna proc the Halo Blades instantly, just shredding a ton of his HP.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. I mean, you see, A's the classic client bug. A's pings at camp name at spawning in at timer at classic.
Yeah. So I was going in for the trades, and pretty good hit from Josiah actually, and Rookie actually going into the turret there, which is just not what you want, because now he takes the turret shots and it's an even trade instead of being a favorable trade.
I think if they had committed a little harder, had a bit more faith in that there, and Rookie had taken the Cho'Gath ultimate, I really felt like that was an angle where they could actually kill Josiah, or at the very least force the flash.
Yeah, but the big thing is, Wiggies is already a level up. Matuxa doesn't have level 6 yet, so Void Corps is most likely just free here, and I don't think 1738 can do anything about it.
No, there's absolutely no way they're going to be able to contest this, and Josiah's going to go ahead, try to go for another feast stack, although, actually, they are looking to contest it. Amazing.
Good ultimate from Matuxa. We gotta go in. Ace is instantly going onto the Sylas, who has stolen the Fiddlesticks ultimate by now. Fiddlesticks can't get the ultimate off. Very good case with 1738. God of X is gonna go down very low. The Rookie, meanwhile, going onto Josiah. They get one kill, and that's it.
Yeah. Flash is traded in the mid lane as well. I think Rookie just needs to base here. I don't think he actually, unless he wants to use the Fiddle ultimate to clear out the wave, I think he just goes some recalls here. I mean, he could, honestly, have used the Fiddle ulti for wave clear here. Don't think he will be able to get an angle to use it for anything more than that before it leaves, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Ooh. Could have done maybe a bit more with that Wiggies, but Nuzzle kind of carelessly walking in, taking the poke damage. Twitch actually had a very good recall there, because he bought BF Sword on his first recall, which is very favorable. It's what you kind of want on him. It's a big item spike, and especially once he gets the first item going and starts building crit items. you can really notice that he does a ton of damage. And like you said, Rookie also mini wave does a ton of damage to Desire in the process, actually.
Actually, really nice by the Rookie here, honestly, because that forces Desire to base. So now a Rookie has a timer to be able to create some pressure on the map. Although, you know, looks like it's the timer for Vitagen Heart's bot lane to base here anyway, so probably won't be able to find anything with it. Enchanted Crystal Arrow for Ashe is also not available at the moment. But it's coming up soon.
It's a bit hard for God of Hex to go in here. And he is actually not going for the Roa build. He's going to go for the Luden's Companion build. Which is another build that's pretty common. You go Luden's Companion into Archangel Staff and you become pretty tanky. Cho'Gath Q doesn't hit, so free recall for the Rookie. And he's almost got his Roa now.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I guess Roa actually looks pretty good in this game. Does downside of Roa means you do massively lack ability haste on this champion. Although I guess Rookie's probably got legend haste in his runes, or I would hope so. The other ones aren't that useful on Silas here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't take Bloodline because guess what? He's a mage. And Alacrity doesn't really do much for him because he already gets a ton of attack speed from his passive.
Yeah, indeed.
Uh-oh. You don't want to go in that bush, Rookie. You do not want to go in that bush.
Yeah, this is the problem with when you use your ward. Well, he's actually got Sweeper at the moment, so wouldn't even be able to ward the side here anyway. So when you take Sweeper so early...
very good output from Wiki. The Fear is going to come in instantly into the Cho'Gath Q. Fear, silence, anything, and he's just dead. Rookie can't do anything against that because no wards. So there's no counterplay.
And even though they've blown this massive teamfight ultimate in Fiddlesticks' ult, I think the fact that they've managed to one-shot the Rookie here does mean there's going to be absolutely no contest.
Yeah.
On this dragon.
Keep in mind, Cho'Gath still has his feast, so it's going to be another free feast stack for Cho'Gath. Ace keeps that in mind, prepares it for the feast, and Cho'Gath even better. Cho'Gath also has his movement speed item now, so they're going to get so many free engages with this brawler comp, and so many ways actually to engage these fights. And Zekon will never really be in any danger while they do it. Like I said before, look at that HP he gets from just clearing a wave. Just 200 HP flat healing.
Yeah.
Very clean combo from God of Hex, and he's probably going to keep running at Shy here. Got enough ability haste, I'm assuming. Oh, there comes the Equalizer. Very good ultimate.
Big movement from both sides there.
Yeah, God of Hex is just going to let him get away with it. Can't really punish it after that Equalizer, the slow and stuff. As the Rookie came back to lane and has the Roa finish now. Uh-oh. They know that 1738 is there, but not gonna collapse on them. It would be a 2v2. So maybe Ace can get the steal here with the smite. Oh, he's gonna go for the trade. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's all happens on 1738. Has to burn the flash. Ace is gonna keep going after him. Smite to slow him down. Cyclone is burned, and there's a ton of damage. Oh, Jesus Christ. 1738 just nowhere near healthy enough, and Josiah gets the kill with his Q.
Yeah, Josiah's Cho'Gath's got a bit more swagger in his walk than the average Cho'Gath, as he just does a little Q, fades away, says, I'm done here, thanks for the kill. Ace, you did all the damage, but yoink. Absolutely relaxing there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, bot lane has been very chill this game, with only Matuxa and Wiggy's roaming once or twice. Meanwhile, Ziggy's and Luz are just chill scaling. God of Hex actually taking a lot of damage there from the empowered one.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the issue when you go Grasp is on Gragas. It's actually quite hard. You know, with Phase Rush, you have a lot of opportunity to just run away. But
yeah,
with Grasp, no such opportunities. So at some point, I think the Rumble is going to be able to just run down the Gragas, or at least force the ultimate.
Ooh, good cleanse by Zika, and that's why I take the cleanse into the Ashe matchup. Would have been dead any other time.
Yeah,
Keep in mind that even though the rookie steals the Fiddle ultimate, it doesn't have the fair because that is Fiddle's Q and passive. It's not the ultimate. Uh-oh. 1738 invaded Udyr. Jesus, a lot of damage going down with the Udyr empowered ability. Cho'Gath is here to claim another kill. Rookie has to flash out. We're gonna get the movement speed from Cho'Gath. He's gonna try to Fiddle. Uh-oh, silence. Vord. Yeah. No way you're getting away from Cho'Gath with a silence, with a fair, with everything. It's just a free kill. Silence just burn everything to try and get away. And the same goes for Wukong. So it's very greedy from Wukong to try and invade the Udyr when he's already so ahead.
Yeah, nice nice silence from Josiah there. He recognized that the only way the rookie could escape there was if he used the Fiddlestick's ultimate top over the wall. So as soon as he got to the edge of that bush, dropped the W on the whole edge there.
Yeah, first turret's also gonna go down for Josiah. Just even more gold influx, and he's got these merc threats. Uh-oh. Yeah, that was not the greatest of the rookie. Rookie's gonna be deleted from the face of the earth. With Wiggies and Aces waiting to eat him alive.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. It's like spawn, take gate, die.
They know where the Wukong is, so they're just gonna take his gold influx from the jungle, and they're probably even gonna take Rift out there. This game is looking very dire now.
Yeah, so tough for the Chonccys there. I mean, you know, you probably won't have any insight on this, but honestly, Vitagen Art looks like a much better team when they've got Ace in the jungle instead of top. I won't elaborate into why that is, but this team looks better with this lineup that they have now than what they typically have. So I'm actually quite impressed with how Vitagen Art are playing this one out, because, like I said, typically their mid and late game looks pretty poor, but in these games it's actually looking pretty strong.
Yeah, the only person I really know on that team is Wiggies, because I used to play on a team with him, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in the days on Damage Inc. He was my good old support, so I know that Wiggies is always a good support, and he is showcasing it with his playmaking potential. Oh, Zeke gonna spot it out. Twitch ultimate gonna come out. Flash Ash ultimate in. Very good setup into the Cyclone. Zeke is taking a ton of damage, and the Exhaust is just gonna remove his own damage potential. It's 5 people in the bot lane. They really want to get this dragon.
Amazingly done by the Chonccys here. Punished the fact that they forced Zekan's cleanse earlier, and Enchanting Crystal Arrow lands on him, and immediately he's taken out.
Uh-oh. They are gonna try to actually fight here. Meanwhile, God of Hex is pushing top lane, so it is actually a pretty tough position they're in. Silas took this Cho'Gath ultimate. There we go. Wukong is gonna go in. Uh-oh. Wukong, you should not have done that. Wukong loses almost his entire HP bar. Cho'Gath is dealing a ton of damage. Gonna try to eat Metaxa. Fiddlestick's ultimate goes in, dealing a ton of damage. They get the objective because of the Cho'Gath eat from Silas. They get a ton of shutdowns. But Ace is doing so much damage. Can they kill Ace? They probably can. Just running down. Uh-oh. Zekan here. They're gonna turn around. But Zekan, you don't have enough damage, buddy. You don't have ultimate. He does get the kill, but it's not worth.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I wish I could say nice attempt from Vitagen Art, but come on, like, you're not this is just not even that. This is just a pure ego play. But Hack's able to complete his recall there to escape just in the nick of time. Managed to pick up the tier 2. Probably gonna try to do the same on bot now.
Yeah, most likely they will try to do the same on bot lane. It's a pretty good turnaround, especially because they got a gold influx now, and they did get it on the people they want. They got a gold influx from Rumble and Ashe, and those are really the playmakers for this team currently. Really, the people you want to have that lead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, both sides scale pretty decently in this game, so but it's actually quite nice that the Silas saved his ultimate to secure the dragon, because Cho'Gath did not do the same. He used his ultimate to pick up a kill. I can't remember what, I think it was Metaxa he picked up with his ultimate.
He didn't even kill her with the ultimate though, so he didn't even get a stack from it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, picking up the objective is so important in this game because, you know, if they had lost that fight and got the objective, that would have been pretty bad. But the fact that they not only got the objective, but also won the fight means that they have a lot of extra time to scale up in this game. They don't have to worry about that soul point quite as soon in this game.
Yeah. Udyr is building a bit more tanky now that he has his Strike Breaker, which already gives him quite a lot of damage and chasing potential. So I think that's the way to go. He's gonna probably go for the Abyssal Mask here to amplify the damage of himself and his allies, because they already have a ton of magic damage on this team.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, yeah. Matuxa a bit late there on the queue. So it's a good red buff for Ace.
And this Cho'Gath is absolutely like, it is terrifying to play against. If you're an immobile champ like Ashe, playing into this much move speed, he's just sprinting you, so tough.
Yes. Meanwhile, we get the teleport in. Gotta respect them for trying to go for the Otacon. But they don't have vision here. There's a control ward. Uh-oh. Strike Breaker going in. Nuso is slow, but they still don't go for the engage. Uh-oh. God of Access maybe caught out. Same goes for Wiggies. Wiggies is gonna be full on collapsed on by an Ashe ultimate, and they're gonna take the kill. This most likely means that they can try to get Otacon here, but there is a Herald on mid lane. Are you willing to trade your entire base for that Otacon? It looks like they are gonna. Yeah. They're gonna get so much reward for it though. It's not worth it. They should have sent someone earlier. And God of Hex is really being a bully there, just trying to contest it. There we go. 2 turrets already for Otacon. 3 turrets for Otacon. Because Chonccys is hammering down on the bot lane.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, God of Hex.
God of Hex in a bit of a tough spot here, but probably will be able to survive here. Archangel's shield saves him there. But yeah, there's 3 towers traded. Although I will say this is looking a little bit more like the Vitagen heart I remember, where they're clearly playing the cross map because Joe is intentionally not TPing, and still the members of Vitagen Heart are walking up like they want to contest anyway, which is just like you can pressure a little bit, but yeah, I mean they're just kind of getting caught out. Although, like you said, in the end they did manage to get quite a big reward as a trade for the Otacon. But,
yeah. It is still, you lose the permanent buff, but now you have the entire mid lane gone. So if you push that wave in, it gives so much pressure to do any objective that you want. Meanwhile, the enemy still has to deal with your outer mid lane turret. They don't even have a single turret. It's gonna be very hard to actually like contest these objectives once the waves are pushed in, because what are they gonna do? Walk into an entire zone where the enemy now has vision control? Uh-oh. Matuxa, you're a bit caught out there. Fear coming out, instantly deleted by Udyr ultimate and Chonccys, and the feast has come out and the feast has cleared.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane there. The damage from the empowered Udyr Q.
Yeah, they're gonna get soul point again. So now the pressure is really on the cattle.
I'm pinging the Baron Nashor, which spawned in a minute 30 here, so Ace clearly has his eyes on that objective there.
Eyes on the prize, as we say, and he's obviously instantly just gonna invade. Try to look if 1738 has anything left uncleared. It's gonna get the Scuttle Crab, and they just want to set up vision now around that objective, as we can clearly see that the Chonccys have no vision control whatsoever on the enemy side of the jungle. They don't know where they are. The entire map is black, and the only vision spot they really have is in their own jungle.
Yeah, Wiggy's done a great job of controlling the entirety of Chonccys jungle here, and Rookie might be getting caught out here, slowed by Ace's Strike Breaker.
Oh, Jesus, the damage from Ace. Rookie just can't get away. What is he supposed to do? Ashe ultimate does come out. Meanwhile, Wiggies is gonna go in with Fiddlestick's ultimate, and there's a ton of damage onto Shy. Equalizer is gonna come out. Matuksa is gonna go in and they instantly delete the Twitch, which is gonna do a ton of damage, but they can't protect them. Gragas engages onto their backline. Gragas is doing so well, so much damage. Matuksa is the last man standing, but you have to believe that this is the game. They're just gonna get a free Baron, or they can even push in and maybe end the game if they have to if any way pushing. There's just so much going on, and they are gonna go for the Baron here, and it's free. Nobody's alive. Well, they can't do anything here, and Cho'Gath has his feast back up, so they can even get a Cho'Gath stack out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was gonna say they probably don't have so much damage to kill this, but A's actually does quite a lot if someone else tanks the Baron here. So yeah, the Baron, yeah, and also that quite helps as well, right? The 1.2k smite plus the Cho'Gath has his eat. So yeah, it's a big burst coming through there.
Yeah, I don't want to say it because we're mid-game, but it's looking like kind of a jungle div this game. He's just controlling the entire map, and whenever 1738 goes for anything, he just kills him on the spot. I think that early invade really put him down into the detriment of this game, because it just pulled out such an amount of gold and spacing from the Wukong's game plan that he never really recovered. Cyclone is bird down onto Wiggies, and Josiah is actually gonna be... Jesus! Deleting the Wukong with the ultimate. That's not a good way to start it off. And Ace is here to clean up the reds. Ace is gonna go in. Ash is gonna be probably one tap out of the game, but she is still doing quite a bit of damage. She's slowing down, but Nusa doesn't do anything. The Pit 6 is gonna come out, and the ultimate is gonna kill him instantly, wiping the floor with the team. Silas is the last man standing, who's still against the Gragas, but Silas will not be able to do anything. They will just run down this lane, and they will just run down into the next turrets, and probably just 3-0 this game.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy there. Yeah, this is like surely gonna be the end of the game, right? I mean,
yeah.
Wukong's up, Matux is up soon. It's possible that the game lasts, but probably for not that much longer if it does not end here. The Baron minions coming through as well. This does so much damage.
Knocked out one of the teams, but the other one is surely not gonna be the same.
No, Chun, who the superior Vitagen team is here with this one, a 3-0 for Vitagen.
It's a really clean sweep here. And game 3, I'm gonna have to give it to Josiah. He played this game very cleanly, accelerated his lead, never ever really lost the lane to the rookie, and I think this game is just a statement to the power of Vitagen.
Respect. Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask who your MVP is. Yeah, Josiah's a good shout. Ace is a good shout in this one. I'd probably give this one. I've given one to God of Hacks. I've given one to Josiah. I'll throw some respect to Ace. I'll give him my MVP for this game. But yeah, my MVP for this series has to be Josiah. Played consistently very good throughout the entire thing. Just played to his champ's strength in all of the games and did an excellent job. A lot of early pressure from the mid lane every single time.
Yeah, indeed. Like every single lane just really won, and I think that last game especially was just a statement.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have an interview here. Probably not. Probably, but I mean, I'm down. I'm down if we are. If someone wants to come on, anyone from Vitagen Heart, if they want to come on, I'm happy to chat. But if not, that's also completely fine.
Yeah, otherwise we're just gonna wrap it up. And that would be it for today.
Oh, Zikan wants to do a quick interview, actually. The ADC from Vitagen Heart, it seems.
Yeah,
so
it looks like we might have someone there.
If we can somehow get him in there. Yeah.
Then
I don't
get some insight into their game. He is in. Welcome, Zikan, to the cast.
Hello.
How do you feel after that clean sweep?
I feel so good. So good. To sweep those little chunks away.
What do you say to the haters out there? For those who said you'd never make it. What do you say to the haters?
I just want to thank my mom, dad, My
Mhm.
Oh
dog.
yes, your dog.
My dog Lars, he made it possible.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, by the way, Anubi, just for some backstory, Lars is the coach from Chonccys, this the big
Yeah,
trash
yeah,
talker of the team. Okay, good. Good.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think
Uh,
as the only game where it was really a bit close between you guys was the first game, where it was a lot closer. But then the second and the third game, it was kind of just to wipe the floor with them, and especially game three just felt like it was unwinnable after a certain point for them.
yeah, I mean, first game was just like I pulled out the first time Victor in like officials. I played it some in some scrims and like a little bit in solo queue, but not a lot. I just know that like Victor against champions like Caitlyn is just giga good.
Okay.
And I think I kind of like I fucked up once by like stepping up in lane when I shouldn't when Wiggy's
Mhm.
roamed. But outside of that, I think the Caitlyn could never do anything. She had like one fight where she got a double kill, but that's because we split the fight when we shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I think, and also it was the first game. We have never played with hacks before. Ace in jungle is like a new thing for us as well, even though he's really good. So the first game was like kinda I think nerves where we
Mhm.
didn't want to press the button too much, but we kind of noticed how bad they were as well. So we're like, yeah, we can just go for it.
Yeah. I was going to actually ask about the Victor pick, but you already answered that question. My question to you is, did you flash backwards one singular time in this series? Because in the Victor game, I saw you flash
Nope.
forward like 3 times. On the
Yep.
Twitch, I think I saw you flash forward like
Yep.
twice.
I don't care, bro. I just wanna like the Victor game. I think my flashes were kind of actually like fine
Yeah,
because
they
they
were.
got us the kills. The Twitch flash, I just said I'm gonna like drag them away, get back off. So I just flashed forward for no absolute reason.
Respect.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire series, you were kind of experimenting with draft, I would say, especially game two and three, where in game two, was the Sion and the Skarner always intended for mid lane and support, like from the
Yeah.
get-go, or was it?
We knew that they would pick Oriana like B1, like we already knew that. So before like the game today, we just said like if they pick Oriana, we just go Sion Skarner, and Skarner was always meant for support, and Sion for mid. So we kind of knew it beforehand.
Okay.
Okay.
And the Annie pick, is this something that you prepped? Did you do much practice with this? Because I imagine this was a similar sort of thing to the B1 Oriana. That's a takeaway from the rookie here.
Yeah. We first it was like we just gonna permaban Annie because we know that Shang plays it good and it's really good right now as well. We think.
Yep.
So we were like, and then Jesse and another guy invited. Then they were like, just sitting there talking and said like, why don't we just pick it? And then it's gone for the rest of the series. And Jesse said that he could probably just play it like well.
Yeah.
So we just said okay, we B1 Annie, and it went well. I think he played like decent as well. I didn't see
Well,
too much.
I mean, the thing is, I'll say he had 3 deaths on the Annie, and Josiah's a KDA monster. So he's
Yeah.
ruined his KDA stats, I say, with this pick.
Yeah, I mean, when he doesn't get to play Rihanna, he doesn't know what KDA is. So
This is true.
it's all fake.
I mean, sorry to do the W max though. I'm not saying someone in Vitagen invented that, but that guy's a genius for sure.
Yeah. Also, we had to free them because I don't know how my other sister team lost to this, but they did. So I felt like we had to be the big brother here and put them down.
Yeah, and you think like you would say this proves that Vitagen Heart is just vastly superior to Vitagen
Yeah, I mean,
Solid.
come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
We have to be right.
I mean, it makes sense, right? You beat the people who beat them. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other conclusion that can be drawn from that. Respect. And
Yeah.
oh,
With
go,
this in
go right ahead.
mind, yeah, with this in mind, you are officially in the almost in the semifinals because well, you lost earlier to DL, and
Yeah.
now that you won from Chonccys, your opponent is going to be known like soonish when RX and KAA play. So who do you think will come out on top from that matchup? Or do you have anyone in particular you want to face there?
I think I don't have anyone I really want to play. We played both of them, but when we played the Radix the last time, we kind of like wanted to have fun, so we used to swap around all the players on different positions. So we didn't really get to play them as a 5. But I want kind of Radix to win because I also think they will win because I think they're better than KA. But if we get to play them, that would be fun because I think they're kind of like some dark horses in this bracket. In the beginning, they were like really bad of the SLE, but I think for every week they've become better. So I think they can upset us as well. Like on a bad day for us, they can for sure win.
One thing I can tell you is currently they are 1-1, so all square.
Is that Bo5 as well, right?
Yes, it's a Bo5 as well.
Oh my god, it's 1-1 only.
Yeah, so they're gonna have quite the series cut out for them.
Yeah. I think I don't care who we play against. I know we're gonna probably get to the final now, because the only team I actually was like not scared, but I knew that there was a 50-50 chance to lose was the other Vitagen team, but they're now out. So, and when we lost against Deadly, I think that was a really off day for us. We didn't click, like the vibes were not that good maybe. So I think get a rematch against them and it's gonna be another 3-0 probably.
So if you're saying you think you're going to be in the final, who do you think you're going to be against in the final?
Deadly for sure.
Deadly, not the Hogs.
No, the Hogs are. I don't know how they are where they are, but they have been lucky, man. Holy shit.
Okay. Okay. Respect.
So
they're just cheating. They cheated to get into playoffs, by the way.
Oh, spicy.
They got their wins reversed.
I know. I just had to say it.
Respect.
They did get punished for it, so but well, I hope for you too that you can maybe get your revenge from DL in the final then, if you get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to give me... Sorry, go ahead. Do you have any more questions you want to ask a newbie? I had one final one.
Yeah, I have one more.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead then.
So, how confusing is Wiggy's champion pool?
How confusing it is?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not confusing. It's more like fun because he doesn't play the supports I maybe want him to play, but he plays fun support, so we make the best out of it. But he can play anything, I believe. But we are also a team where we like play what you want to play. Like we're not gonna force anyone to play anything they're uncomfortable on. Like if we were like that, I could force him on fucking Karma or Lulu every game and it would be fine. But he's really fun to play with, so I have no problem with his champion pool.
That sounds great.
And just for the final question to wrap this up, do you have anyone you want to shout out positively, call out negatively? Just final words to say to fans or haters out there.
I mean, it's obvious that Lars made Chonccys worse. I can start with that. I want to shout out to Jonathan Isaac. Thank God he didn't play today. We would lose. And then thank you to you casters. Great work.
Respect. All right.
Respect.
And Ghosty for producing.
Good. Gotta show some respect to Ghosty as well. Good.
But with that in mind, that's going to be it for us for today, and we're going to wrap it up. We are. I don't believe we have any matches on the schedule currently for cast, so we'll know soon enough what's the next one we can do. And it was a blast casting today, I think.
Yeah, I agree.